Welcome back, everybody. My name is Alex Anthony, and this is Little Zodog. Say hi, Little Zodog. Zoe says hi. We are going to be reviewing a stream game from the Lucky Lady Casino, which took place about 2 weeks ago at the time of this recording. And the reason why I chose this exact stream is because halfway through, we got 6 hours to go through. I'm going to go 2x speed like we normally do, is because I come in halfway through and I play the last 3 hours of the stream. Nothing super interesting on my part, but I just thought it'd be cool to include myself on one of these stream reviews. And we're just going to also learn a little bit more about the locals. And I really like the Lucky Lady for many reasons, but to even show you guys, like, as a kind of as an example of poker in general, like live poker, you get a really, like, I've played a lot of places in the country, and you get a pretty general example of like what you're going to find here. It's a good cast of people, and they represent poker pretty well. Like, there's no one here who's going to be unbelievably crazy usually, and no one who's like unbelievably amazing. It's usually like a pretty nice mix and balance of players. So going around the table, I actually don't know every single player, so we're going to kind of like I'll tell you guys who I know, and then we'll kind of like learn the names as we go. On the screen right now, we have Big Fish, HD Thanos, Mom, Paisley, Sticky Steve, David, Super Eddie, and Jay. This is Sticky Steve. I know Steve. We play together pretty much every time that I go to the Lucky Lady. And I don't know David to his right, but I do know Super Eddie, who is another seat to his right. So we'll kind of get it going. So if this is Steve, we can also assume that this is Paisley, who's in the $10 straddle. So that makes sense too. Double straddle here on this very first hand. We got small blind, big blind, under the gun straddle, and Paisley for the double straddle in the +1 position, as they call it here. So we're going to go with that. And we'll just kind of start off and go from there. Just so you guys know, the stakes we're playing today are $2, $3, $5. The $5 is a mandatory straddle in this game. And so in this hand here, Paisley has turned on the optional $10 straddle, and there are unlimited straddles as well. You can straddle all the way around the table, or you may see it. You usually don't in our stakes games, but you can straddle the button at any point, but it has to be for $100. So it's a 20 BB straddle. It's a very odd rule. I've never really seen anything like that, but it just kind of disincentivizes button straddling. But when stacks get really deep, it's definitely possible. So the other one thing I wanted to mention too is I think the buy-in is 2 to 800 or 3 to 800, 800 cap. That's like the most important part. So it starts off with a beautiful spot here for David. They get ace, ace, and they just limp, huh? So this guy here is David. Oh, so it looks like we're missing someone. Okay, so this person's name must be Kobe in between, because this is Eddie. I know Super Eddie. Him and I are friends. So basically, I'm friends with Eddie, and I'm friends with Steve at this current point. Like, those are the only two people that, like, I know and I could say hi to outside of the poker room, and like we could chop it up a little bit. So it looks like David is getting tricky. Now, just so you guys also know, this game has been going for a little bit. I'm only going to cut in now because I didn't want to do all like 9 hours of the full stream, but they were playing for a few hours before this. So you're going to see some stacks are a little bit bigger, some are a little bit smaller, but that's exactly why we've kind of gotten to this point where we are today. So David may have a read that I don't have for you guys yet. We're just going to kind of jump in and figure it out. The reason why I do is because they kind of split their stream up. This one here is 6 hours total, so we're going to do this 6 hours. I didn't want to do the entire 3 plus 6 hours, so we're just going to kind of go with what we can get. All right. Also, it goes yellow chips are $5. These white chips here are 100, and the blue chips are $1. So Super Eddie putting in the tricky little call, huh? That's kind of surprising because I've played a lot with Eddie, and I would have expected him to raise here with the ace queen suited. Very surprising. And it looks like it's going to go limp to the flop, exactly what Eddie would have or David would have wanted. Wow, and Eddie outflops him. That's actually a really disciplined check from ace ace here, because they have the overpair, they have the gut shot, but without any club. I guess they just wanted to like see how the action developed. They're probably going to go check call on the flop here because it's very what, and Eddie checks too. What are these guys doing right now? What are these guys doing right now? So this is just good to know from all these players. David, Eddie, I didn't know you were this tricky, Eddie. I'm glad I'm watching these. I'm glad I'm watching these hands. Did not know you were this tricky, because that is a very interesting check on. I mean, he could in theory here have like literally even a better hand. He could have like a straight flush right here that just limped in pre-flop, because that's like a more meaningful or reasonable hand to overlimp in ace four suited that just doesn't want to raise and go 7 ways and then have to like feel like they have to c-bet and then probably just going to lose their money, so they just limp instead. And a hand that can actually withstand a raise if someone does want to. That makes sense. But to check back this flop is super tricky as well, huh? All right, good to know. And now I think this guy's name is Mom, M-O-M. I think this is Mom, and they are gonna now bet out with their top raise. Like, this is just a reasonable play for me. Like, I'm like this guy here playing reasonable, while everyone else here is playing ultra tricky. Ultra tricky. David's got a call. He can't fold right now. He folds? What? Bro, okay guys, this is live poker, man. I gotta show you guys this, because this is what live poker is all about. What a crazy hand / crazy way to play ace ace, to limp under the gun, go 5 ways, and then to just fold. He's right, technically, not against the bet. Against the bet, he's wrong, but he's right in that Eddie does have a better hand behind him, but there's no way you can know that, bro. The dude checked twice. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is pretty bad. Sorry, David, but pretty bad. You just want to like play your hand aggressively and better than that, or at least like you got to speculate here too. Like, when the way that you got here, especially, you got to call one. Like, bro, what if the river's a 3? What if the river's an ace? Like, you have 4 outs to boat up, you know? Like, what are we talking about here? And you could have the best hand. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. Eddie only calls, huh? Eddie only calls. You got to rip it on the river, right, bro? Check and then bet. Okay, yeah, well, he's going to bet. But I was saying if mom bet into him, he probably got to bet. Or he's probably got to raid, right? Eddie going to bet big? Bet what, 120? I mean, the crazy part is like, it's not a bad way to play this hand. Like, let's just, like, once again, too, I want to go out and I'm going to try and, like, learn some stuff, too, about players here. Like, let's see exactly how he bets. He goes with the little, you know, whatever you want to call that move for a full, really a 2-motion bet. String bet, really. Sorry, bro. Stream game, a little more lenient, but yeah, if someone wanted to call string bet, they definitely could. So, unless he said the amount first. And if he said the amount first, that's completely fine. Hard to hear, too, because I'm going 2x speed, but I want to include a little background speed, or a little background noise between the hands. So, just a big, confident bet. You know, he bets basically full pot. Bets full pot, and he does it kind of confidently. So, just good to know, good to see. I've seen this mom player play before. I was going to say, I don't think, like, they're not a super sticky player. There's nothing really like I said, actually, they do play relatively standard from what I've noticed. Pretty solid, honestly. So I would expect them to play kind of more like how I usually play. And when I say solid, I just mean like, I'm not saying anything great, just like pretty standard poker, you know, nothing special. Whereas like limping aces and checking and limping ace queen suited and checking back and then only calling the turn and all that stuff, like that's very tricky stuff from Eddie. Very tricky. All right, so real quick, what do we got here? Steve under the gun, standard player. He's gonna raise. Looks like the 40, 35. It's a pretty big raise. But we are playing in a. I mean, that's 7x straddles. That's 7 straddles. So 14 BB open, pretty big. I mean, it's not it's not 1/2 because the straddle is actually like 1 point whatever, like 8, whatever 5 is to 3. You know, it's not exactly double. 6 would obviously be double. And we're playing 2, 3, 5. So it's like it's not a traditional like half or like quarter, half full in terms of unit. It's like 1 and then, you know, 150% more than that and like 170, 180% more than that. I'm sorry, I'm not good at my math right now. We've got Steve raises and it looks like everyone's gonna fold to who called? HG Thanos. Who the heck is that? And then Paisley. Okay, so we knew Paisley. Who's HG? I gotta let's see the camera cut to them just so I know. But they called with a 96 off, and Paisley's in there with the computer hand. So this is some pretty speculative stuff right now. Poker is alive and well, folks. Speculation Nation up in this. Okay, so that's HG, dude in the seat 8. Usually they have the seat number, which helps me out, but no seat number today. So seat 8, because this is 9-handed, right? It's usually 9-handed, and it goes. Sorry, I was thinking about that. So Steve bets, HG calls with a pair. Probably check. Yeah, check. Steve just seems like a check type player, and then check it down. Check it down and win. Nice. Okay, so just count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 9-handed. 9-handed is pretty common for this stream game. I believe they just want to give as many people, and because it's a public stream, which is like an unbelievably cool thing. You know, that's why I'm able to get in. You know, I mean, I do also know a lot of the players there who run the game, so like I can get into some of these smaller stakes private games that are on stream. But it's just awesome that anyone can get into these games here. Like anyone can get in on a stream. Amazing. Shout out to Elena, the current dealer. She's amazing. I think Bad B Brian's coming right in. Shout out to Brian. They're top tier staff here at the Lucky Lady. Cannot go wrong. Cannot go wrong coming to this casino. So anyone in the area, highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Sorry, I missed the pre-flop action because I was glazing everybody here. So it was Eddie raised. So it's kind of crazy. So Eddie overlimped the ace queen suited, but now he's going to open raise the queen 10 suited. So that was just a really tricky hit by Eddie. Like he's a more, I don't want to say straightforward player, but he's a pretty aggressive player. So like that whole tricky trappy thing was like very surprising for me to see that he can even fit those in his range, given the amount of aggression that we usually see from him. You'll see some aggression later on for sure. And even right here with putting, and I mean, another 7 straddle open. So it's just kind of like the standing. It's almost like the straddle is on always, like the $10 straddle, and people are just kind of like playing around that. But yeah, like Paisley's probably going to call because he called with the queen 7 suited. David's definitely going to call. Well, I'm sorry, this one was so fast. This one's so fast. So it was a Paisley call, Steve folded, David called, it looks like. And David is the guy who limped. No, David folded. And then it just goes check on the flop. Super quick to get to the turn. That's why I'm like going back here. So missed on the flop. And then who bets? Paisley bets on the turn. And Eddie just folds? 100. Oh, Paisley bet 80? Paisley bet 80? That's a big bet. I guess I can see fold there. Weird bet, bro. Weird bet. So, wow, good to know. He called, he attacked some weakness that he saw from Eddie, and he just took it down. Nice hand. Homie walking in the background now is one of the USC homies. Shout out to the USC crew. Love all of them. We'll actually be playing with one of them later. He'll jump in here. His name's Jack. But yeah, shout out to Jack, Danny, all the rest. I forget a lot of their names. I'm sorry. A lot of their names, but I always recognize them because they're usually like the youngest people in the casino or poker room at least. New dealer change: double board PLO bomb pot. Looks like $5 from everybody. Sometimes we do a $10, but just because it's a stream game, like Slash a little bit bigger, sometimes we'll up it a little bit, but $5 is the standard. So we can talk a little double board PLO bomb pot strategy real quick. I have been meaning to make my video, but just so you guys know, like quick little tip that I will be throwing in there. So a little preview tip right now is like when you get to these double board bomb pots, like position is like so unbelievably important, so incredibly important, so much so that like I actually auto check like pretty much my entire range from like the first two to three seats. Like I don't even care what I have. I need to see what other people do first because there's just so much that can happen. So like that's like the number one thing. And then number two thing is people are really, really bad at figuring out what they have. So what I recommend doing is don't even look at your hand when you get it, okay? Wait until the two boards come out, look at the two boards, figure out what are the nuts in the two boards, and say, that's what I want in my hand right now. So like literally, if I didn't look at my hand right now, and then we'll get back onto the hand, and I'm gonna give you guys all the rest of the tips later. I don't even look at my hand. I just wait for the board to come out, and it's like clearly, so right now I wanna have in my hand 8-9, and then I also wanna have that 9 can also configure with the bottom board and be 9-10. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out so easily, but basically you want at least 8-9 and a 10 in your hand right now, and you want two hearts. So maybe like 8-9-10, one heart, then the ace of hearts as well. That'd be like a great hand to have. And then maybe make the other two cards diamond, because there's a club on the bottom board, so you don't want to choose clubs for your backdoor draw. In this instance, if you can choose, you know, you don't want to choose hearts either, obviously, because there's two hearts on the bottom board, but there's that nice little 7 of diamonds in the middle there. So you'd want two diamonds in your hand, say 8-9 of diamonds, and then ace-10 of hearts would be like the nut perfect, or 10. Oh wow, because if you had the 10-9, then you could have the open-ended straight flush draw, but I'd rather have the nut flush out more. I'd rather, because it's just more common to hit that. So I'd take like I'd take the take this. Take 10 ace. That way you still have runner royal outs on the bottom board, and then take 8-9 of diamonds. So you have runner straight flush outs on the top board. That would be the perfect hand to have here. So like you want to, and I know that was a lot, and we took like 10-20 seconds to do that, 30 seconds to do that, but you want to do that as quick as you can in hand, and then you look at your card. And if your cards don't look nothing like that, you just check and fold basically. And if they're kind of close, you kind of go from there. And that's like the real balance of how you can just kind of make sense of this whole situation, because it's like it's PLO A, so that's different from what most people are even used to playing. It's double board B, which is completely different from what people are used to playing, and it's split pot C, which most people are completely not used to playing. So they're not used to thinking about getting quartered, because getting quartered is pretty much like a common devastating result. It's like getting kind of stacked in a way. It's just a common way to lose a lot of money, and you got to think of what are the hands that get quartered. And I'll just give you guys, I guess, a third quick little tip here: straights. These straight boards, because it's easy to have, because there's so many combos of straights out there. Right now, the 8-9 is blocked by the bottom board 8, so there's only 12 combos of 8-9 available between the 4 cards that you can have in your hand. And then, of course, there's a full 16 combos of 10-9 available. If you have 10-9 and the board starts getting really bet big, it's very possible someone could also have 10-9, and they could also have an 8 to go with it for the top board. So quick little chunk of PLO double board bomb pop. I'm not going to go too deep into that throughout the rest of this video, because like I said, I do have that other video kind of like in line, and I'll talk about tips like that, as well as other things that I like to do too. And like I'll expand on more on that kind of stuff as well. But that's like a nice little foundation basis that you can take into any game that has this little dealer switch and just not get crushed. Because I see so many people, we play for like hours, really. You play the full dealer rotation, no all-ins, no nothing. New dealer comes in, double board PLO bomb pot, 7-way all-in, you know? And like if you have that happen, I guarantee one person doesn't know how to play Omaha. They're trying to play one or 3 cards from their hand, not just 2. They're trying to play 1 or 3 cards. They don't know that like they misread the board in some way. They think they have a straight when they don't. They think they have a boat when they don't. Like say the board is trips and they have 1, you know, like I said, they have like the ace and then it's like trip 3s on the board. They think they have a boat, but they don't. They only have a pair. They have 2 pair aces and 3s with their kicker. And like someone's like at least half the people are gonna fuck it up along the way. So just don't be that person that messes it up. If anything, it's better to be the person that sits out per hand than it is to be the person. Wow, queen takes the top board or takes bottom board. This might get this is a chop, hard to tell. But yeah, like someone usually messes it up. So I didn't go too much strategy wise into this hand, because I was kind of giving you guys the general PLO bomb pot advice. But yeah, it gets very, very crazy. These hands get so big so quick. Hey, shout out to Andrew, that's my homie, fellow Patriots fan down in SoCal. Best chip runner, man. Best chip runner. Love the Lucky Lady staff, bro. Love the Lucky Lady staff. All right, now back to regular. All right, we've got, looks like a little limpy here, man. Little limpy. Wait, who's calling $3? It's a $5 game, bro. What are you talking call $3? It's mandatory $5 straddle. That's just a mess up on graphics. Doesn't matter. We got HG raised to 35 with the 10-9-0, and then we got a bunch of calls. Steve with the ace-9, Kobe with the 87, Eddie in there with the ace-8 off. Very loose, very splashy. Poker's alive and well, folks. And then Mom's gonna come back in with the 86 off. Jeez, bro. A bunch of basura up in this place. Kobe with the bottom two pairs. Everyone's got pieces, bro. Sticky Steve with the open ender. Eddie with the middle pair. HG with the top pair middle open ender. And then Mom with the bottom pair gut shot. Crazy that everyone hit that board, dude. Kobe's in with the bottom two. Thanos gonna call. He's got decent equity. Once Steve leaves the pot, he'll have even more equity. Yeah, so now it's like a coin flip, basically. Now it's like a coin flip. One time, and Kobe holds. Kobe holds. Nice hand, sir. That's poker, bro. That, like, so many weird random hands get in there. And that was one of those spots where it's almost like if someone decides to make an aggressive play, or if this guy here doesn't flop bottom two pair, then like something just completely different can happen. Like one card difference, one action difference. That's the explosiveness of this game and how high variance it can be in just one instance like that. Really ridiculous that all 5 players connected with that flop to some degree. Is the straddle not on? Is this a 2-3 game right now? Am I tripping? Normally this is 2-3-5. This may actually just be a 2-3 game right now. And that first hand that we started on may have just actually had a legit double straddle going. Weird. It's usually 2-3-5. So when you guys watch this stream or go to this place or watch me in the future, expect it to be 2-3-5. Not sure what's going on right now. Not really super important when every pot's getting raised pre-flop. Looks like just a goofy little all-in pre-flop. And it looks like HG is out. You can hear Brian calling to the director, one seat. And then, of course, HG had to come back because we all literally forget our phones. Because you have to put your phone in the, there's like a little cabinet/drawer that we've all put them in. And it's very common to lose, walk out, or cash out, walk out, and then come back in 5-10 minutes later, 15 seconds later, be like, oh, wait, phone. All right, Big Fish. Raise 15 with the 97 suited. Mom calls, Paisley calls, Steve calls. David, 3-bets to 75. That's crazy, bro. Limp aces, 3-bet ace-jack offsuit. So they probably had a clear plan of some kind. Because this is a very good 3-bet here. Very good 3-bet, great size. Steve is sticky, but he's not this sticky. Oh, Paisley called with the King 7 suited. Interesting. Paisley's a bit of a, well, we're playing at 2x speed, and David's gone very slowly here. Very slowly. He had to really consider that bet. He had to really talk himself into that bet. And Paisley does fold. But that was a really slow bet. Hannah! Shout out to Hannah. She's the best. She's the hostess. She's the greatest. She's looking to see who, like, how many people, or how many seats are open or whatever. When they call for, new players, like, she's gonna be the one to find them. Red Bull up in there, nice. She's getting everyone's water and drink and this and that. She's the best, man. Looks like a pretty simple pot here. We didn't even get the graphics for it. They're still sorting out all their stuff. Sounds like double straddle pot. All right, here we go. We're back. Mom with the 83 off. Unfortunate. Eddie is going to call. Oh, out of the SB. Yeah. So just a small pot here. Pretty standard when everyone's been dealt kind of garbage. Oh no, Eddie raised? Oh no, Mom raised and Eddie called. My bad. Mom raised, Eddie called. He limb called out of the straddle. Oh, Big Fish also called? Really? Wow. I think that's dude in the different colored hoodie right there. Yeah, the 4, 5, 6 color hoodie. That's Big Fish. Cool. So he called with the Queen 4 suited and he banks that flop, bro. And what did he do? Did he dunk out, bro? He dunked out on that board? Oh, bro. He bets when he hits, dude. He bets when he hits, bro. So that's just like a phrase that I use for like a certain player type. And it's like obviously like the most basic and silly thing ever, but like some people just can't resist betting when they hit. Like they don't think to like check raise someone who's gonna c-bet obvious. Like bro, dude was out of the straddle. So many kings he can even have for value. So much nonsense he can have to try to just bluff here. So, and I mean, it's just a very common vibe. You raise the straddle, you're gonna probably c-bet a lot. He's not even thinking about that. So adequately named at the moment, man. He overcalled a very not very big bet. I guess it was only a 4 straddle open at that point with the double straddle, and he had an overcaller in between, so he was sandwiched in getting decent odds. But don't like the way he played that post flop. Don't like the way he played that post flop. Because I think Mom's gonna c-bet a lot there. He can check call, maybe lead the turn, maybe check the turn again. A lot of different things. So, all right, single straddle from Mom. Steve calls with the ace 8. David is gonna probably call with his Queen 10 offsuit. Kobe folds. Eddie will speculate. 2 suited cards. What's Big Fish got? A Queen Deuce suited. Now is sorry. Jay. My bad. Jay raised to 30. Mom called. Steve called. Eddie also called. Damn, Eddie. A little speculative. Okay. All right. Jay, and who's Jay? Wait, is that Jay? So who's Big Fit? What? Oh, did they change his name? They changed his name, I think. Literally, I think they changed his name. I was like, who's the fish dude? All right, they changed his name to Jay. 90% sure that's what happened because his graphics matched up with the action both with the other name and with this name right now. So that's actually wild that Mom outflops him here. Mom's gonna bet here because he's a very good player. Mom's gonna bet here because he's a good player. What a great bet, dude. Just shoved them all in. Overbets the pot. Top tier, bro. Top tier. Mom's a good player. He's one person who when I'm at these tables with, I have to know to not like avoid, but just like watch out, man, because like there's probably not a lot of edge for me to find against a player like this. It was a nice bet, but maybe he could have gotten him to call like 250, you know, and then on the river when it like kind of bricks out, he just like wouldn't be able to fold for like another 250. All in is a very scary bet. You know, I forget who was talking about that the other day. I want to say Please Foldy maybe was mentioning that, how like when you go all in, like some fish just fold more often than if you just go like a huge committal amount that's just less than all in. And I've always felt similar to that, where all in only looks bluffy if you have like that kind of image, you know, and it's just hard to have that kind of image. All right, Steve in the straddle. Jay calls with the king 7 suited, but raises out of the. Oh no, I think he just called before. I was gonna say it was with the queen 7 suited or whatever it was. Nothing really too much happening here. Steve, oh sorry, Jay stabs and looks like it gets through. And gets it through. Nice. I think JM just jumped in the game. This day right here was the first time that I played with this guy on the 8 seat. Very nice guy, very cool guy. So shout out to JM. Oh, it is 2-3. Okay, they let me come in with 800 though. So maybe they increased it at a certain point, because when I bought in, bro, I came in with 800. That's funny. So it was just 2-3. See, even JM was confused. Okay. Wait. So there is a big fish and there is a J? Dude, I'm so confused now. So which one's big fish? Because the action was on him before. That's so wild, bro. All right, we'll just keep it rolling, keep it going. Paisley betting big on the turn again with kind of a nothing hand. So is Big Fish the dude in red? Maybe Big Fish is the dude in red, but I'm pretty sure the action's lined up before. I don't think I was wrong about that. So my bad for kind of messing up if I did, but all good. We're all on the same page now. That side of the table is J/Big Fish. But yeah, that's twice that Paisley's bet out on the turn with a really mediocre kind of hand. $80 to both times. It's almost like his preferred bluff amount in a medium-sized spot. Okay, Big Fish calls. So Big Fish is in red. Got it. Got a 6-way flop here. Nobody want to do anything crazy. Let's see if Mom bets his flush draw here. If check 2, I think he probably would. He's pretty aggressive. He checks it back. Okay. And Paisley, yeah, that's a solid spot for Paisley to bet when no one else bet. Big Fish, 40 to call. He folds his medium pair. Wow. Mom called, got there. Paisley also got there, and he has like the backdoor straight flush draw, so he's definitely going to call. Oh, he bet himself. Okay. Mom raises to the 4-1-3. Shout out to the 4-1-3, baby. And Paisley puts it in. Paisley puts it in. He's drawing slim. And that's going to be a scoopy-doop for Mama. Great hand, Mom. Very aggressively played. He knew his customer, and he did great. Shout out to Mom. They're playing great, bro. They're playing very, very well. Without a doubt, so far, the most skill that we've witnessed at the table. And they've had like a lot of opportunities to do it, but yeah, they're great. Playing very well. Don't mess with Mom. That's my note for myself. David with the ace deuce suited is gonna raise it up, baby. Let's go. $17. Take it down, David. Take it down. David seems like they got a little soft to them as well. Like I think that limp with the aces was probably read based. Like they probably were really expecting someone to come back over the top. But like they should still just like do a small raise themselves though. Like from what I've noticed, especially as someone who min raises a lot, the people who like to raise your limps are the same people that like to 3-bet your small opens. So you can just min raise. Just get more money in the pot. Damn, look at that little castle Mom's got going to chips. That's always the best feeling, bro, when you have a mountain of chips in front of you. That is the best feeling. Having to ask for a chip up. Woo, woo. Handing a rack of 5s just so you can get 500s. Top tier feeling. Shout out to Paisley seemingly being unfazed by losing a couple stacks already. I mean, they're like small stacks. I don't think he's buying in for them. This one looks like a max buy-in, but the other ones I think were smaller buy-ins. Maybe they were 500 buy-ins, but they have maintained their composure, and they were playing when I was playing, so I didn't know that they had already lost like a couple stacks and this and that. Like they never seemed tilted tilted at all. They never seem tilted at all. Like, everyone treats losing differently, and it's also kind of crazy too because you never really know like what someone's like recent poker streak has been. Like, if they're losing a lot, they may take this next loss a lot harder than if they've been on a massive upswing and like their next loss is like, whatever, I gotta give some back. Steve is gonna bet the river here. Kobe's gonna snap you off, buddy. Ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. Oh, you saw that little. I don't know if you guys saw it. Did you see it? When I guess like the jig is up at this point, but Steve let out an audible, not audible, but like his lips did this when homie called. So it's like if you're someone else in the hand, a big fish, you can know that Steve ain't got a good hand at this point. Like look at Steve right, like look at his like this side of his mouth, this right down here. I'm gonna keep my cursor right there. Keep your eye right there. Yep, it's hard to see. It was a little micro, and it went away really quickly. But if you're the other player in the hand, you could have definitely read Steve right there. Now I'm sure he'll be a little bit more reserved with his tells when it's like more streets and more action to play, but good to look for. You tried though. All right, double straddle hand. Mom in the double straddle. Paisley open limping the 76 suited. Little loose, little weak. Not loose, but just a little weak. Like I think this is more of a just raise to 25. You know, if anything, raise to 20. Limp is just so yeah. All right, so Jay coming in with the 75. 75, yeah. Damn, Paisley just snap calls. 7.5 BB or straddles ain't nothing to some people. For me, I'm considering it, bro. For me, I don't know if that's necessarily a call. I at least have to consider it. All right. Just note that action from Jay, like the way that he checked there, was very like whatever. Ooh, he gave the same whatever kind of check on the turn dink, but still a little afraid of the ace. Really, way too loose of a bet, bro. The 9 gets there, the ace is still out there. No way. Again, unless he's just trying to chop or to get someone off of another queen randomly, but just check that one down, bro. Just check that one down. Just check that one down is my for staff. They're getting a collection for staff right now. Very sweet. For the person who's like doing all the cards right now, who's doing like all the images and everything. Super Eddie open limp or over limping the ace queen suited again. What is going on? He must have a superstition about ace queen suited, bro. Parking lot hands, something this or that. It might have burned him one too many times. Like I'm not playing ace queen suited aggressively ever again. But yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, at least he's protected, bro. At least he's protected. That's a hell of a hand to having your limp calling range. Jay is going to continuation bet his 10-6 off. Was Jay the PFR? Yeah, Jay was a PFR. Very aggressive, Jay, on the button with a 10-6 off. I mean, he's got the gutter. Steve ain't calling. You can get out, bro. Eddie's gonna overcall with the AQS? And then what, are you like checking the dark, basically? Jay. Either he's sensing weakness or he is just like naturally very aggressive. But that was a very aggro double barrel, honestly, with no heart in his own hand. Very interesting. Weird play from Eddie. Like I just don't love the passivity. Sounds like 10 of diamonds was exposed. That's why it's on the top of the deck right now. Paisley's in the 5 straddle. Paisley raisey, mom folds. They're all reading the chat, which they can see. They have the stream chat in there, but the stream is on a half-hour delay. So anyone who's like chatting is going to be chatting about, you know, the past. JM raise. I was gonna say first hand JM plays ace king suited on the button. It's a solid hand to choose. JM seemed like a little bit more splashy of a player when I was with them, but they've played very snug so far. Looks like the other players have acknowledged that because there are some hands in there that would have potentially gotten action from other raises. JM did raise very large though to 50 if he made it like, you know, the 35 that other people were doing. And if he had played more hands, he would have gotten more action. Who knows? Or it could have just been people just didn't want to gamble that hand. Big fish with the ace king this time. Let's see how they play it. No one else really has much. Super Eddie with the 97 suited is like the next best hand. $60, bro. Yeah, that'll take it down pre. That's the first time they've made a raise of that caliber. It's kind of funny too because raises like this, these oversized raises, like really are ace king, ace queen, jack jack, 10-10, 9-9 a lot of the time. When people have good hands, not great, but good hands, they know they need to play them, but they know they've also lost a lot with them before. So they just don't want to overexpose themselves. Queen now for Jay. And they do have a pretty aggressive image so far. They played a lot of hands. Mom's going to call him with the 86 suited. Ooh, wow. Mom's been flopping great today, bro. Jesus. Jay bets, Mama bets. Or sorry, Jay checks, Mom bets. And it's a check call situation. I think we're going to probably see a check back, yeah. Mom's a smart cat, bro. You ain't going to fool him. You ain't going to fool him. This is a good bet from Jay. Jay is an extremely aggressive player, bro. Extremely aggressive for both value and bluff, it seems. That's already your time. There goes Brian. Here comes Mike. I'm pretty sure it's Mike. Sorry, Mike, if it's not Mike. I'm like 90% sure. Oh. No. I don't think it is Mike. Mike's a different guy, unless there's two Mikes. Shh. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro. Zach? I'm sorry, bro. Double board PLO bomb pot. You want to have deuce deuce and king king. That's your ideal hand right now. Deuce deuce king king. Looks like Jay has a deuce. They're definitely gonna bet. David has like, oh my god, and David has jack jack, and David has jack jack and a king. Oh, David's gonna crush Jay right here, bro. David is going to destroy Jay right here. Deuce on the turn. Wait, yeah. Oh no, and I think Jay boated. Yeah, Jay boats up on the top board with a worse boat, or the bottom board in the graphics with a worse boat. David has a better boat. Oh geez. And Steve, what are you up to here, bro? Get out of here, Steve. No, dude. You have no outs on either board. You have one raw 9. Oh, David's gonna crush Jay right here. David's going to crush Jay right here. He has the top pair on the bottom board. Oh my god, and I think Jay's potting it. It looks like just the way that the dealer notioned. Yeah, Jay potted it. Steve folds. David's all in, and he says better full house in a pair. Scoop, bro. Scoop. Dirty scoop. Dirty scoop, bro. This is what I'm talking about, man. You got nothing going on in this big pot. The biggest pot we've seen in the last 30 minutes. Double board PLO bomb pot. Crazy variance, bro. The real crazy thing about this double board stuff too, man, is when you hit that bottom board with the ace deuce, you know, you could be up against deuce 3, deuce jack, just a deuce king that doesn't want to fold, but nope, or a 4-5 that gets there, but nope, you're up against jack jack. They couldn't have had the king king, they had to have the jack jack, and it's like, that's extra tilting, bro. Extra tilting. Jay was on such a streak. He had decent momentum going. Crazy hand, dude. All right, straddle. Eddie is the straddle. JM is going to raise up to 15, a reasonable open size. Paisley calls, Steve calls. Everyone's going to call with a size like this. When people are raising to 35 as an average, see, JM just got here. He didn't know that the standard open size was 35. I mean, he's played this game plenty of times, so he knows. But yeah, people were definitely raising a lot bigger pre. So 15 is almost like just a limp, practically. David bets out, bets when he hits. Dude, solid play, though. Solid play, because here's the thing. That's a board that's going to check around a lot of the time. You're going to face a turn card that you don't like a lot of the time. This David character seems like he's got some tricks up his sleeve. This David character seems like he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. That's a very good donk. Like, that's not a typical bet. Like, that's not a bet when you hit with the queen 4 like Jay did. That's a bet when you hit because there's no good situation that's going to happen on the turn. Like, except aside from hitting a 9, you know, you're not going to get any better than where you are right now, where most people probably miss and you probably have the best hand. So just kind of take it down right now. Big Fish opens up to 25 with the ace queen suited. Paisley gonna snap call? Yeah, I was gonna say, he doesn't really seem like an aggressive 3-better type, whereas like that could be a 3-bet, but Big Fish is a tighter player themselves, so especially when it comes to their open raises. We have only seen them raise ace king and ace queen so far. Really gonna continuation bet with the 2 overcards like that. Very strong. He realizes an 8-high board is hard to hit. He's only betting 40% pot though, so it's like really nothing crazy. Pretty solid play from Big Fish, honestly. Pretty solid play from Big Fish. Not bad. But maybe could note his bet sizing there. It could be a potential bet sizing tell. Whereas, like, say in the next time we get a situation like that, if he bets closer to like half pot, 3/4 pot with like an overpair, could be something that you could raise in the future. And by you, I mean me. Or anyone that plays with Big Fish. Yeah, this is like half stream review, half like scouting, half giving you guys just like the general gameplay that you can expect to see at a casino. You know, even if this game was not being filmed right now, and if there was no RFID cards, I'm pretty sure most of these people would be playing the same. The stakes may be a little bit bigger, as in like getting away with like the $35 raises may be like a little bit more common because of the stream and because of the consistency of the straddles. So people are just like used to there being more money in the pot. So even when there's not a straddle, like raising to a straddle size like doesn't seem as weird. It's odd psychologically how it happens, but that is a thing for sure. Eddie betting here with the top pair, Big Fish calling with the bottom-ish pair, and then it just goes check check probably. Eddie wins. Check check, Eddie wins. Looks like Kobe's gonna bow out for the night, and Steve is going to move over to their seat. On Dealer is Kind, moves their chips for them. Seat switches are always interesting. I only ever really switch truly for strategic positions. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's gonna switch for like a better view or for more luck or for this or that. Like, I will switch just to be, if there's just really 2 main factors. If there's someone very aggressive to my left, I'll switch, and if there's someone very passive who I can get to their left, I'll also switch. Like, very loose and passive, I'll get to their left. You know, just typical fish hunting or reg avoidance. There's no one really at at the table right now who's like playing in a way that would make me want to not be on their right. Eddie gets a little more aggressive later on in the night, but at this current moment, Sashas are so odd to me because like I'm the kind of person who like I don't want you touching me. Like I don't really like I have to like really know someone to be comfortable with physical contact. So like I could never like I don't even like get my haircut. I actually haven't had a haircut in like a long time, like 7 years ish was the last time I had a haircut. It was before COVID. It was before COVID that I had a haircut. And even then, like the reason why I bring it up is because I don't like a barber even touching my head. Like it just feels very awkward. Man, I'm not comfortable with people like that. So I'm always fascinated by people who can be comfortable because to me it's such an odd sensation. Jay with 76 gonna bet his gut shot diamonds and take it down. No surprise there. I like Jay. They're a relatively aggressive player. They're gonna win a lot of pots just with their raw way of playing. But you can tell even right now they're still like thinking about that double board bomb pot hand that like just kind of crushed their momentum, bro. Absolutely crushed it. Be careful, big fish. The way you fold it was almost kind of even I could almost see the cards from the camera angle. So people who are sitting at a lower angle will definitely be able to see. $17 pot. Limped around. Eddie's with the trips. I'm gonna bet take it down. Switching from the 8 seat to the 2 seat is like the weirdest thing in the world, bro. That's like the same seat, just the other side of the table. Like I could see switching from the 8 or the the 9 or the 1 to like anything else, but I can't see switching from the 2 to the 8 or the 8 to the 2. It's pretty run around. What was pre-flop? Steve raises with the 8 ace 10-0. Eddie calls, Paisley calls. C-bet this flop for sure. Wait, does Paisley donk out with the gutter? What does he bet? 55, huh? Paisley just likes to lead with weird hands. Steve raises to min, dude. Nice. Let's go, Steve. That was a sick little play there, bro. That was a sick little play because he kind of like maybe sensed it that he didn't have it, and he just wanted to like what you call it? Just kind of test him real quick. Oh, this dude's cool. The new seat 8. Dude said he was from Germany and he was just like here for the series. I know we're in LA right now, but I think he was like saying he was gonna go there, whatever, in like a week or something or a couple days. This was 2 weeks ago, by the way. So the series was like still like more going. Jay with the big raise, bro, with the ace 8 suited. This dude is wild. I like him. So who raised? Steve raised from the +1 position. I love it, bro. I mean, it's a solid raise. It's a solid 3-bet. It's on the charts. You know, it's just one that most people don't make. Are you gonna call, Steve? Are you really that sticky? Some people are very sticky versus 3-bets, bro. They just do not like being bet off their hand pre-flop. You put in $20 full and now you got to fold. Yeah. Eddie folds to KJO. Very reasonable. Once again, solid play from Jay. They're very aggressive. They're playing good. Like they just had that one bet when they hit. Hey, shout out to Marty. Marty's great. He had that one bet when he hit with the queen 4 that I just didn't like. And aside from that, all his plays have been really solid. I think they're talking about trying to change the stakes right now to the normal 235 with $800 buy-in, which is what I think they must have done because by the time I got in there, that's what it was. I think you saw Andrew come in there. He changed out the little mic that you can see right by the stakes on the bottom table. It's between Eddie and Jay. It's just a DJI mic, kind of like what I would use if I was going to make a recording away from my computer. And it's just really cool that they're able to like capture so much audio with that microphone. Like those things are great. And it sounds like did Chong come in? It sounds like Chong comes in and changes it all up. He's the man, bro. You think he's floor right now? I mean, Marty's floor too, but maybe Chong's more in charge. So he's great. Shout out to the homie. And now the game is officially 2-3-5, which is what it quote unquote should be. Like the stream is like supposed to be 2-3-5. I feel like it's been playing that way anyway. So Max is his name. Max, the German dude. Obviously, the German guy's named Max. Maximilian. I really hope that's his full name, bro. I really hope it because Max is just like a whatever name, but Maximilian is like the coolest name in the world because it's like, no, I'm not just Max. There's a million of me. I'm worth so much more than just one Max. 2-3-5. Call. Big fish. Mom and David all limp in. Jay might raise because he's a very aggressive player. He sees a bunch of, what do you call it? A bunch of weaker play and he decides to attack it. And it's kind of crazy too because like whenever I see people like Jay, I always, let me rephrase. Whenever I try to play like Jay, I always feel like a little bit like, dude, people are going to really not give me credit for this here. People are really going to stop giving me credit. And he just happens to run into it again, bro. Like, I think Jay's actually playing really well. Like, Mom made a very, very speculative call before the flop. And again, they flopped 2 pair with the 74 suited. This might just be their lucky hand, bro. But luckily for Jay, Mom raises up straight at the gate, which is a good play. It's a solid play. And he only c-bet $30. He only c-bet $30. But it's just cool to see a player like Jay who's like not gonna let anything really slow him down. He's like, yeah, this is how I play all the time. Sounds like we got a straddle pot here. So now single straddle will be to $10. David opens to 3 of the straddles, which is now finally once again a reasonable open size. Making it like 75 is just insane. Making it 30 is very reasonable. On the flop, check, check, check. On the turn, Max with best hand. Might put out a bet now. David puts out a bet now. Interesting. They smell something. Really? Really? Max just lets them have it. They got the gut shot. They have the pair. Huh. Well, once again, David's got some tricks, bro. He smelled something. Very impressed by his play. From the limping of aces under the gun to where we are right now, I'm incredibly impressed with David's play. I'm also, from the queen 4 of donk to now, I'm incredibly impressed with Jay's play. And Mom has just played so good. I mean, yeah, they've gotten pretty lucky for sure, but every decision that they've made post flop has been like pretty much perfect. Honestly, like their only thing that I could really say is just like a little loose and a little speculative pre-flop. And when that kind of variance runs out for them, they may like start bleeding a little bit of money. Jay stabs with just a straight. Mom calls with the backdoor straight king draw, club draw, double, like tons of backdoors right here, but that's all they called with. Very, very surprising. They're definitely going to call this turn. What's he going to bet, like 75? No, 50-ish. 40. He knows his customer, bro. He knows that his dude probably doesn't have a great hand, but he gave him a good price to draw, though. Bro, if he checks his river, then he's really, like, got way more chops than I expect, but he's so aggressive, I don't think he could ever resist betting here. He's way too aggressive. Yeah, way too aggressive. Like, I just don't think, I don't see him as, like, that. He just doesn't have that in his game as much because his whole thing is just bet at every given opportunity. So, I almost, like, don't even mind the way he plays it right there, because I think he's going to get looked up a little bit lighter than a lot of people. A little bit lighter than a lot of people. So, he's going to get more value there than the average person betting would. Whereas someone like me, who people might read for a little bit more weak when I check that river and then might be willing to fold, maybe I could get away with the check call there, check raise there, probably check call, given the run out paired board. But like you're trying to get bets out of hands that were drawing that had like one card to the draw that just have air on the river that are going to try and bet you off now when the board looked like a little scary. But yeah, very impressed by, honestly, no one's really playing like bad right now, but I'm just exceptionally impressed by David, Jay, and Mom. Raise by Jay. Obviously, Paisley's going to call. They got the same hand. Let's see. This is only interesting when they miss. Paisley's only got 277. Given how aggressive Jay is, I could easily see this going like check call, check call, check call. Especially if the king queen would outkick other kings by the river. I wonder if Paisley calls or jams here. I wonder if he calls or jams here because he's so short. He just calls, okay. And now the queen does play, so I can easily see Jay jamming here. It's only 182 more. Yeah, that seemed like it was just destined to happen based on that flop. Like, I don't see either of these players folding, especially for the amount that that Paisley had effective, you know? Nice hand, gentlemen. Shout out to the masseuse, though, even though I said I'm not really a big masseuse guy. She's a super nice lady. Her and Hannah were both there, like, the very first day that I went to the Lucky Lady, and they were just so nice and so welcoming and so kind. So, like, yeah, huge shout out to them. Same with Andrew. I remember Devin, who we haven't seen yet today. Devin was like the first floor guy that I met there. I don't think he's actually here today right now. Looks like we got raised to 30 from Mom with the Queen Jack suited. JM calls to 55. Steve calls to 33. Oh, big flop for JM. Super ready with the King 3 and Jay with the open ender now. What? How did this flop go check through? How did this flop check through? Who was the PFR? It was Mom. When this is, bro, no way this board here checks through. You got top 2 pair for Mom, bottom set for JM. I mean, JM checking is standard, but Mom not betting is crazy work. That's the only misstep I've seen Mom make so far is by just checking back this here, where, like, I mean, I'm actually, and Jay doesn't bet either? And Jay's the most aggressive player at the table, bets every single opportunity. He's got backdoor royal draw and open-ended straight draw with an overcard. Like, I can't believe no one bets here, no one actually gets here. And then Mom outdraws JM, bro. JM's going broke here. That's wild. I mean, so this hand would have happened regardless, it seems, but yeah. Does JM only call? What is going on? Jay drawing dead. What is going on? Unless this goes bet 3, bet all in on the river, I'm going to be shocked here, dude. How does live poker play like this, dude? Bet and only call. Check around on the flop. This is an insane hand. What? What? And Eddie bets $200? What are you doing? What's going on here? This is insanity. 5 ways. Assume someone has a queen at this point, just randomly. 200 out of nothing, out of nowhere? Why? Okay, so this is what was needed to get the hand going, because I actually can see JM just calling here. I really can. Like, if he just called the turn, why is he going to raise now? I mean, I would have raised the turn, and I would raise the river here, but I can see him calling, maybe, but he should get stacked here, bro. He should get stacked here. Oh, okay, cool. cool. Mom just jams. Mom just jams. So now JM can't fold. Sorry, brother. It's not that I'm rooting for you to get stacked. It's like, how the hell do you not get stacked here? How the hell do you not get stacked here? Wait. Oh, Eddie hit the flush on the river. I'm an idiot. I read one of those cards as a heart, bro. I read one of those cards as a heart. My B. So that makes complete sense. My bad. Did not see the flush. Backdoor king high flush for Eddie. Oof. Oof, oof. It's all going in Mom's favor. On the flop, what was her equity on the flop? 34%, not bad, but the scoop on that is crazy. Wait, no, that's pre-flop. Sorry. Yeah, on the flop they were 18%. I was gonna say. Yeah, to scoop with 18% equity on the flop is crazy. Nice hand to Mom, bro. They have the pie. They already had a mountain of chips from earlier. Now they got this going. What a run, dude. What a run. JM and Eddie both hit the that's crazy though, for Eddie's perspective though, because like once you get that 500 raise and the call, damn, bro, you got to be super optimistic that you're up against two raw queens, like king, queen, ace, queen. That's all you're hoping for. King, queen, 10, king, because like they can't have the jack, they can't have the queen 5, they can't have the jack, can't have the 5, 5. Damn, like that's but it is 300 to yeah, dude, you're getting like almost 5 to 1. Oh my God, that's disgusting. It's disgusting, bro. Getting 5 to 1 here and like not knowing if you can even call. And there's a nut flush out there too. And there's imagine losing to the nut flush here. Oh, crazy hand, bro. Crazy hand. I think Mom tried to do the 100 straddle on the button, but it's a bomb pot because dealer change. Insane, bro. Doesn't matter what happened on the flop, even though it was wild that it did check around, because that was like almost a guaranteed outcome. And because of that hand playing the way that it did, it's what allowed Eddie to get in there too. Like it being so passive, so like this and that is what allowed Eddie to get there. And that was an extra 500 for Mom. So like how lucky of a situation where normally I think bet on the flop is just the proper play. Bet on the flop is just the proper play when you are checked to with the top 2 pair on that board. So here you're looking for queen jack and pocket aces with maybe yeah, big bet, take it down. Live poker is so wild in that when you are losing, it's like you really like see playing like behind the screen online, like you can just kind of like do whatever you want. You know, you can like be outwardly frustrated, you can curse, you can like go hit your punching bag if that's your thing, like if you really get that mad and you have to do that kind of thing. But he feels like he's got to get back to the game because he's done so good. Mom's a class act. Mom is a class act. And yeah, but when you're live, bro, you just gotta sit there and eat it, and it is what it is, you know. Damn, bro, Steve picks up the ace queen, Jay dude, what a cooler here. What? 100 dead on the button. Steve opens to 60% of his stack, but bro, he can have queens, he can have jacks, he can have tens, he can have ace queen, he can have ace jack suited, he can have like an above average hand here that's not the nuts. There's no way. Jay folds ace king here. I was about to say, sorry, Steve, you're getting stacked, homie. But he made Jay, dude, he raised a 3 BB. He raised a 3 straddles. Like, this is a very shallow stacked poker hand. Homie raised to, he has a 5 straddle stack. That's it. He folded. That was a missed graphic at the, oh my God, dude. How do you fold there? How do you fold? Jay might be a little shell shocked right now or something, because that is so weird, bro. So weird. Shout out to Rob, walks in, grabs a Red Bull, walks out. Isn't even on the game yet. He'll be on the stream later though. He's cool. Testing. All right, we got Big Fish raising +2 to 25. Max puts in a speculative call with a 69 suited. Paisley is going to 3-bet to 150 with ace king off. Pretty good size, maybe a little bit big in position. You could probably go like size down 1 unit, maybe go 125, and then it's gonna go back around to the PFR in the caller, and they're just gonna fold, take it down. Paisley, nice hand. Yeah, Steve had a queen jack suited that he was forced to fold there. That's pretty standard fold. Like, unfortunately, you know, when you're up against 15 straddles in your face, and from out of position, I believe he was. Paisley is gonna raise to 90. It looks like very weird sizing. What was it? Just 5 to call. Call. See, Paisley doesn't scan his hand here, so we don't know what he has. That little box that you see is like where you have to put your RFID card for the reader to actually pick them up. And he does not do that, but he goes 95 here after 3-betting the previous hand. So I wonder if he's trying to like, if he got a big hand and he was trying to make it seem like he was just like doing some random stuff, or if he was just genuinely doing some random stuff right there. Interesting one. JM raises to 15 with the KJ. Pretty standard size, pretty standard open. Eddie's gonna call. Jay, They got their card scanned, but it didn't pick it up, it looks like. Jay with the mystery hand makes it 65. A little small for my liking, because it's 15 plus 2 callers. Yeah, a little small. Because just against the 15, I would have made it 75. So with the 2 callers, I probably would have made it like closer to 100 right there. But it looks like it gets the job done in terms of getting folds. Mom with the triple rack chip up, bro. 15 hundo, please. 15 hundo. They could even ask for a 1k chip at this point. Their stack is so deep. I think they're at like 3k or so. It's a great result for them, man. It's always awesome to see it happen because it means that it could be you at any point in time. It could be you any day. Any moment, any hand, the luck could turn in your favor. That is the most optimistic thing that you can really have about poker. I don't know how much that whole, manifestation works, or talking to yourself works, or trying to like wish it into reality works, but it's better to tell at least you have that option. Tell yourself it's my time. It's going to change right now. It's going to change right now. David raised, then bet and took it down on that board. Pretty standard. This dude. Paisley's funny. Paisley raises, big fish calls, check fold. It looks like we don't even see the flop. He raises, Paisley calls. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna mute this because like they're just talking so loud now. Like Paisley's just like really overwhelming the conversation. Sorry, bro. But so Eddie raises, Paisley calls, and looks like we can probably go check bet call if that. Wait, Paisley? Okay, now this is a weird one because every time Paisley's done this so far, he has had a pretty good hand. He's had nothing. He's had absolutely nothing. So now he's doing it with a pretty decent hand. He's like doing a bet when he hits type bet. Almost more like for protection, but he bet so much, dude. Is that like 80, 90, 100? He bet 100 into that pot? What the hell? And then Eddie min raises him again? No. So last time Steve min raised him when he did this, Paisley folded, but he bet way smaller. This time he's overbetting the pot. Top pair, no kicker, really. And Eddie looks like he min raised him. And then Paisley just snap calls. All right. I think Paisley literally distracted himself with the conversation he was having, because this is just like weird, bro. This is just weird. Then it goes check. Yeah, weird one. Uncharacteristic of how we've seen him play thus far. I am curious if he threw himself for a loop, because like donking there with like a 7 would just make no sense, especially for the size he chose. He's done that as a bluff several times, and Eddie just thought he might be trapping, so he didn't like kind of keep putting the pressure on. Probably would have kept putting the pressure on just like based on his ranges so far. Like he folded the last time, and we didn't get to see what he had though the first 2 times, so I guess it's hard from Eddie's perspective. I can see that. It's hard from Eddie's perspective. We've gotten to see that he had nothing the last 2 times that he did that. 3 times really, but the first 2 times I think he got away with it. It was when he bet 80 twice. Dang, see, what are you eating? Tacos with arroz y frijoles? Damn, bro, I didn't know they had that there. I gotta get some tacos next time I go. Although, I don't want to eat with my hands. Mom's gonna 3-bet. Jay has got 70 to call. Let's turn the volume back up. Maybe the conversation's died down a little bit. Looks like Jay might really want to rip it back in, bro. Oh, no, he just calls. Okay. Little speculative. I don't think that's a call in the solver. Check from Mom. Jay is going to bet out. That's an interesting check if Mom folds here, because like he's been playing so well and so solid. I would have expected him to at least put in a C-bet on the flop, but yeah, he just check calls. He's probably trying to counter Jay's aggression against him. Like he's been playing at this table with him. He's seen how many times Jay has simply bet. Probably doesn't want to get raised off his hand, and he can easily see Jay betting weaker as a bluff. So like not for value, but as a bluff. So he can probably check call here. But this is an interesting spot. I feel like Jay just like doesn't stop betting, bro. Like once he starts, he doesn't stop. So this is probably gonna work low key. Like at this point, Mom's got to put him on at least a little something. He hasn't gotten to see all the hands like we have, unless he just knows Jay better than we do. But this is a pretty standard fold. So shout out to Jay again, just like applying consistent, relentless aggression. He's really, I'm just going to put it simply as this. Every time someone checks, he's just really attacking them. He's not letting the premise of, I think someone might be slow playing me here, like creep into his brain. And he's not letting his hand deter him either. It's actually very solid and inspiring play to see like what's really possible if you just kind of like focus on what your opponent is doing and try to react to that. Like when people look less confident, they're probably just not acting against you. They probably aren't trying to slow play. They probably just don't have it. They're probably just being a real human in a real human moment. So very, very good play from Jay, man. He's shown us a lot of spots where aggression can just straight win. Paisley jamming it in with the 99. Yeah, it's a standard spot. This is Rob who sits down. He's a pretty cool guy. But I think I will, I'm going to lower the volume a little bit in here because when the conversations pick up, it gets like quite overwhelming, especially just for me. So I'm sure for you guys listening. I wonder how loud I am in that regard, because this homie was talking me up too. Like he just kept asking me a bunch of questions. Like I'm not like opposed to talking, but I'm just saying I'm not like the most chatty player at the table typically. Here's how it is. If everyone's talking, I'll just kind of chill because the vibe is already there. If no one's talking, then I will try to be the person that kind of starts it all up. I'm cool to fade into the background, but I'm not cool to sit at a table where everyone's like being completely stone silent. To me, that's like the most boring thing on planet Earth. I just kind of like refuse to be in that dynamic. And then like when you start being the one who's kind of like talking to other people, makes you seem like a little bit more loose, a little more sociable, a little more like, I don't know what it really is. More involved, really. Because like if everyone's just sitting there silently folding, you seem like you're never in the action. But if you're talking, even though you're not playing, you're still like, you seem like you're kind of in the action. So yeah, I kind of just like react to the dynamics specifically, but I'm never gonna like not talk to somebody. But Rob is definitely a chatty guy. And it seems like this Paisley gentleman is also being quite when he gets into a conversation, he gets into a conversation. You know, he's not like he's talking a lot, but when he does, he does. Or like low-key, like this is no shade to Rob at all, but I hate when people stack their chips like that. Just because it's like when I'm in the seat next to him, I can never see when you got cards or not, bro. Especially on the reader, because the reader's so far back. I gotta do like this every hand. Are you in? Are you in? Like if I'm just waiting pre-flop and not paying 100% attention. So it's I don't know if people who do that know exactly how obstructive they're being to the vision of other players. I'm sure it's not like a malicious thing. JM jamming it in for $100. Okay. JM jamming it in for $100, and he's in pretty bad shape against the King 10 and the 7-7. Jay and Mom are trying to play like a bigger pot right now, even though JM is in that dry side. Looks like the 7-7 is in the lead. If check two, I'd probably bet for protection. Yeah, it's a solid bet. Just like don't let any overcards come that are gonna like just beat you randomly. And your hand looks like you can almost like kind of like happily overrepresent your hand here right now because you're just trying to kind of like win the hand that's in front of you. Like if we had say flop to 7, then of course then we can try to like do other things with the other player, like maybe like check back if it was like 9-7 9-7 9 kind of deal. But yeah, so just they ran it twice from that point. That's funny. Yeah, it's a rough start for JM with the overboat situation. He just never like rebought for full, I guess, and he just kind of like let his stack kind of go dwindle down. I don't do that. I don't like that. I always rebuy. You actually even see when I sit down, like because I didn't really know when to tell him because like I'm not used to being on the stream game where they have all the updated graphics and this and that. So at one point I have to ask him like, hey, when do you want to know when I reload? Because I don't think they can just tell, you know. And I'm always just taking chips out of my pocket, out of my bag, and just putting them on top of my stack to get back to full because I don't care. I don't care. I will not play short stacked. I got auto reload on when I play live too, for real. Like I'll let my stack dip down like 4 or 5 BB maybe, and then I'm reloading. Maybe 4 or 5 BB. I just don't like to, you know. The only time that I wouldn't is maybe in a situation like this where I don't want to seem like I'm being like doing something I shouldn't be doing, you know. But and I also just don't want to bother the dealer on every little top off either. So I may like wait like a little bit longer in a situation like this. Say if I'm like at an 800 stack, at like the lowest I would let it get to would be like 100 down, and then I would reload. Big pot here, Mom ends up with the next to nuts basically. The seconds, when you are hot, you are hot. I guess it is, man, because in this game, like it just seems like it's such an unbelievably streaky game where sure you're not going to win every single hand that you play, but like when you're in like these like winning of like 75 to 80% situations, you feel invincible, bro. And when it's the opposite, when you're losing 75 to 80% of the situations, you feel like the worst player in the world and there's nothing you can do. And you may not have changed a thing about how you play poker. It may quite literally simply be the cards are going in a different manner. Because like how many times you can play King Deuce suited, bro, 100 times and not get a flush, literally. And that's like not even uncommon. So just to have the run that Mama's had tonight, it looks like it's like, oh yeah, it can happen. But bro, a run like this is once in every 100 sessions, maybe. And in that time too, expect to have one of the opposite as well, where you're just losing. You can't make anything happen. So it's just so interesting to see the variance between the players, even like how Eddie got kind of coolered with that backdoor flush. Jay got coolered against David, who I didn't even see when they left, against David in that double board PLO bomb pot when they had the boat versus the other boat. So, but yeah, their aggression's been crazy, man. Let's see, Jay with the ace 4-0 on the button. Everyone looks like they just like call limp and he's just gonna raise it up and take it down. Solid play from Jay. He's more so playing the table and less playing his hands, which is great. Surprised his cards didn't get shown up there because they very clearly got seen by whoever was in the one Paisley there. Like they were very obviously visible to him. He should always flip up the cards when they're folded like that. But he folded, so it doesn't really matter. Raise, re-raise, and a fold, it looks like. Eddie has the kind of hand there though where he could have potentially called. I mean, I don't think they showed what Eddie raised to, but he usually raises to like 15 to 20. So if it was only 45 to 40 right there to call, I could definitely see a case for calling, but being out of position does hurt that as well. You're going to have to check raise a lot of flops that you miss, and you're going to have to check fold a lot of flops that are like ace high, king high. But like queen high flops, jack high flops, and lower, you're going to have to like check raise a lot just to apply pressure, I would assume. But that would be my reaction slash strategy against a player like, what's his name? Big Fish, who has shown us at least. I mean, you'd have to like have this knowledge. They can c-bet with less than, you know, the overpair. Here they, like, see right here, they're betting bottom pair. Check, check, probably check, 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 if I had to guess. But Jay is aggressive, bro. He might legitimately bet his pair forward. Dude, he can't resist. He cannot resist. Interesting. Like, if he's betting for value against a deuce, very weird. Wow. And he calls, and he's in the value bet's good. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Very wild, very interesting play. I thought I value bet thin, bro. Jay is putting my value bets to absolute shame in terms of like where he's willing to go. For him, I don't even know if it's like value half the time. I think he's literally just betting because the person checked the turn and because he just wants to bet. I really just think that's the case, but like he really could have been trying to get value from ace high or a deuce right there. He really could have been. Damn, Steve, you didn't even need half your meal. Another semi-connected board. You want to have a 4-3 and a 7-5. 4-3, 7-5. Hearts and club, please. No one's really got any of that. Big Fish has the 7-5 and a 4. It's a good turn card for Big Fish. But yeah, I was gonna say bet your hand, bro. Betting pot is like such a natural thing to do until you realize like how insanely deep these boards get. And it's like if someone else has what do you call it? If someone else has 7-5 and then they also have like a 6, like you're just completely screwed. Completely screwed. Which happens more often than you'd think. Happens much more often than you'd think. What does Steve even have right there? He's debating with the 8-4. Yeah, that was not good, bro. That was not good. Damn, everyone's taking a break right now. We are 2 hours and 23 minutes into this 6-hour stream, so we've got about 66% left to go. Graphics are lagging behind a little bit. Big Fish raises. Fold called from Steve. Big Fish probably has a decent ace, decent pair. Bets. Steve's gonna call. Paisley folds. I didn't even know Paisley was in. Goes check, check on the turn, and we can't see the river. So not much of a hand to cover. Steve had a pair of threes, and what did he get? Who won? It looks like Big Fish won, so either he had, it looked like kings for a second there. Was it king queen maybe? What was the board? Doesn't matter. Who cares? Little pot. Little pots are fine, especially if the graphics don't pick it up. Straddle, it sounds like? Or no? No, I guess not. Oh, okay, yeah, he forgot. He didn't know that they changed it, so that's why he thought it was a straddle. Got it. Max raises to $20 with the 65 off in the cutoff. Paisley calls, Steve calls. Very sicky Steve right here. Checking all around. Max is going to turn 3 6s, bet and take it down, I'm sure. We've got Mom raises to 15 from the hijack. Looks like everyone's going to call. JM with the suited connector, Steve with the suited queen, Jay with the ace-7 off. Oh yeah, looked like he was going to fold for a second. I was like, no, he's going to call. Check around. Mom's going to bet. Probably take it down if I had to guess. I don't see Jay being like, he's not like a call over-calling sticky type player. He's an over-betting in a frequency manner type player. I haven't really seen too many overbets from him. He's just very aggressive. Paisley limps in the hijack with ace deuce off. JM is going to call with the 98 off. Steve will only call with the out of the small blind. Kind of surprising. Jay with the suited ace will not have any of that. He's going to raise it up to $30. Paisley going to probably call. Steve going to probably call. That's like the only real reasons to call with a hand like queen 10 suited, so that you can overcall when someone or so you can comfortably call, I should say, when someone raises. Jay's going to bet his gutter and overcard. Paisley's going to call with his gutter and overcard. Paisley's going to pair up. Goes in the lead. That's probably going to be enough to keep him around. Especially, oh, and he raised? He raised? Wow, interesting. On the deuce. He raised on the deuce turn. He knows how aggressive Jay is, or he just kind of felt it. Once the hands go vertical like that, like once the cards go, or I'll use a Pokemon card as an example. Once someone has their card from here to like they're holding it like this, like, ugh, you know, that like this means fold usually, you know, like as soon as they make their hand visible to the public, that usually means fold. But that's very interesting that, what's his name picked that up. Is Mom cashing out? Wow. The legendary sample, bro. Or sorry, the sample, the legendary session of Mom. That was crazy, bro. How much that they had and how well that they did. That is too much excitement for one day. All right, no graphics right now. The camera's switching around, but we're not getting, okay, here we go. JM backs into a flushy flush, and then that's what he had them put his name as. That's Rob. I'm not saying Killa. That's Rob. Shout out to Rob. He's a cool dude. And shout out to Jack joining the table. Looks like Steve moved over to seat 9. He's sweet switching again. And Jack, who is setting up his chips as well as his good luck charms. And if you guys see all those kitties right there, guess where Jack got all those kitties from here? There's a little doggy, but it's like the same style. But I always have my bag of trinkets, and he particularly loved the kitties. So I told him he could have a few of them. And those definitely came from me. There is good luck charms, and we will talk about them and joke about them later when I get to the table, which will be in about 30 minutes or so. The table is kind of like settling into the dynamic that I saw. Like, I don't think Jay was there when I was there. I think Jay gets up next, if I recall correctly, or Big Fish. It's either Jay or Big Fish. I forget who exactly. Maybe Big Fish, because I remember Paisley moving over to that seat. All right, we got big action, it looks like. Limp and then raise. It's kind of hard to tell. No graphics. Jay continuing the aggression. Shout out to the service staff. They're the best. Always coming in, taking care of everybody. Kind of crazy. Mom left, and they took like 3K off the table with them, and it doesn't even really kill the dynamic of the table because they weren't like super action, you know? They were just like getting hands and winning a lot. So people might even be happy to see him go, honestly. Like raise, call. Couldn't quite tell who the PFR was. Graphics are not quite keeping up, and it's really hard at this angle. We're getting check around. JM, sorry, picks up a flush draw. Paisley had bottom pair. A couple of aces out there for Jay and Max. Not surprised that Jay didn't bet. Jay's not like a terribly like reckless player. They just like when they start betting, they just keep betting, man. So bet on the flop. Wow, Max is gonna let it go easy. Good fold for Max. JM doesn't know what to do now. They don't like their call or their wait. That's interesting that they didn't continue there. Stacks wise, I'm just not sure if they just didn't feel like they had enough, or I mean, it looks like they have enough. That's very conservative of a fold there. It looked like he bet 50, got raised to 150, and then had to call about 100 more with there being about like 275 out there, 270 out there. So I don't know, unless I'm missing something. Maybe there was two whites out there and it was like a $250 raise. All right, well, I'm not really sure what's happening with the graphics right now, so we'll just try to cover the action best we can because the raise amounts and such are not kind of coming in. So it looks like Max raised, Steve called, and then, or maybe Jake raised because Jay's usually the raiser. But are we really like 8-handed right now? I don't think so, bro. I don't think everyone still has their hand. I think it was just, yeah, 3 ways, now heads up. Paisley bets all in with, do we have his hand? With Jack 10. Okay, and Steve has a flush draw. Steve has and a gutter. Flush draw and a gutter. And he's going to gamble. They run twice, it looks like, and chop. Steve hits king on the river on the bottom board. That's what it looks like. So he had the overcard and the gutter and the flush draw against his hand. Not the worst call off. Hard to know when it's like the stacks and such are not like updating, but it's okay. We love the Lucky Lady, and we will, of course, give them leniency and leeway while they have their... This still is honestly a relatively new technology for them. I think they only actually got the RFID like literally installed like 2 months ago, maybe 3 at the most, but it has not been the most recent thing. So like while we're in this kind of moment of little bit of like technical difficulties, let's just talk about like the overall meta of the table. So like let's just go like around the table. So far Paisley has been like pretty passive, relatively loose, probably one of the easier players to extract from given like the way that the session's gone so far. Rob just sat down, so it's kind of, you can't really say much about him. JM has been playing pretty snug overall. Once again, I'm a little surprised that he didn't rebuy when he got stacked on that 5-5 hand, or like I'm not sure how he got down to only the 100 there. Jack I've played with a couple times. He does also like to play some table games. So overall, I would say he's a little bit looser than like the average, maybe the USC crew, because most of them aren't the table game type. He does have a little bit of gamble in him, I would say. Super Eddie / Eddie is just like, I would call him an above average regular who is happy to splash around. We'll call it like that. Jay, ultra aggro. I've actually like feel like I've even learned a little bit from Jay today by just relentlessly attacking checks and just like attacking pressure. Like he's been so good at it and shown us so much today. That's been great. Big Fish, pretty standard player, pretty standard older player. We've only ever really seen him raise with the one hand that I think he raised didn't pick up. So he's raised like 4 or 5 times, but for the most part, it's been like big aces every time. So cool, like standard player. Mom was great, dude. Mom was a really solid player. Max has been playing very well, very solid. Like can't really say anything about them. Like they haven't really done too much. Like the only really bet I've seen them make was with the like they opened pre with the 6-5 offsuit. They didn't see bet the flop, but they bet on the turn. And now he boats up basically. Or sorry, not boats up, but hits a what you call it on the turn. And then what did Eddie do here? Let's like look this back again. But yeah, and then Steve is just a solid player overall. Once again, he can be a little sticky like his name says. So it looks like all in and a call. Oh, is this just pre-flop all in? Oh, okay. They just got it all in pre. Eddie's with the ace king suited. Wow, they have big stacks for getting it all in, huh? That's like $800 stack. And they run it twice and it looks like Eddie gets scooped. Damn. Sorry, homie. 750. Damn, bro. 2 boards, no ace, no king. Eddie's taking the brunt of it tonight and he's a good dude. I like Eddie a lot. He runs or he hosts, I would say, the private games on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Like he'll be the dude with the lineup. He'll call people, make sure that everyone's going to come down, that there's actually a game here on the stream. But damn, bro, I mean, I'm not like trying to root against or for anybody, but it's like if we're going to root, say here, like it would have been nice to see a chop, you know, because I don't dislike Max by any means. I'm not trying to root for him to get scooped or whatever in the other direction, but I do want to see. I don't like to see my homies do bad. You know, it is what it is. If someone's gonna get cooler, make it be the one that I don't know. So I guess I would want to see cooler or Max get cooler more than Eddie, because I know Eddie and I'm gonna see him again throughout the year. Or Max is going back to Germany, so no shade to you, Max. You're a good dude. But between the local homie and the visitor, I always got to root for the hometown hero. Looks like okay, so that is what happens. Big Fish does get up. I think Paisley takes his seat, and then I believe I take Paisley's seat. I think that's how that works out. GG to Big Fish. Paisley moves on down. Looks like raise to 30 from Jack. Call from Steve and JM. Jack bets with the best hand and probably just takes it down. Oh, Steve gets extra sticky, bro. He is a little sticky sometimes, huh? Pre-flop on the flop, but a lot of his actions are honest though. A lot of his actions are honest. He made the one overbet on the river today, try to bluff. I forget what the homie had, but like it was never gonna work. Oh no, with the top pair king. With top pair king. Not never gonna work. Like maybe in a weird way. Like I think against Kobe it was. But yeah. For the most part, I would say Steve is pretty in line. Raise from JM, probably a solid hand, because he's not like super out of line. Queen 9 suited. Okay. Steve is going to stick around. Eddie's going to call. Let's see what we get here. We got check around. Okay. I'm curious. I would be curious to see if JM c-bet on that flop. Let's see what time are we in here. Okay. So just under the 3 hour mark, yours truly joins into the 1 seat. Yours truly. And I forget, I only bring my $500 stack. So thank you, Brian, for reminding me he asked me how much I'm buying in for it. Buying for 8, as that is the standard. Oh, they put the space between my name. No space. Alex Anthony, all one word. It's all good though. But honestly, like I'm gonna give you guys like a little spoiler alert preview. You're not gonna see too much. Like I play a few pots. Like there's nothing crazy that I get into. You see my little bag of trinkets behind me and my salad. My bag of trinkets and my salad. Let's see here from how Rob handled this ace king situation. So did he limp call? No, he limp jammed. Limp jammed. Okay, I didn't even really see this hand because I was kind of like getting situated at the time. I don't think anyone calls here. But yeah, I was only like really sensing solid play from Rob, so I wouldn't expect too much crazy here. Really, Eddie gives him action? Eddie gives him action? No, don't do it, bro. I hope he's not tilting. See, I didn't know coming into it how much Eddie had lost at this point. It's not like it really makes a difference though. We say our farewells to Brian and get ready for a double board PLO bomb pot. Yeah, this dude Rob was cool. Very welcoming, very cordial. What's my quality? Like we lost our HD. I wonder if that's the stream or if that's me. Like if that's like their raw data. Okay, I think that was them because I just got clear again. They're having a little bit of focus issues. You can see the cameras like going in and out of focus. Yeah, I always pass around the bag of trinkets to anyone who is interested. I think at this point, Jack told me that someone took someone took Jack's green cat that he had. He was asking if I had another one. I think I found one for him. It's nice to do the little things. Graphics aren't really keeping up super well. Hard to tell what's going on. The what you call them? Security comes in, takes out the rake. I'm gonna lower it because honestly, I don't really want to hear myself talking. And like people are always so kind, so like they're gonna like talk to you, ask you questions, this and that. And it's like once again, I reply. Yeah, I always want to offer the look to everybody because I don't want anyone to feel excluded. And then if I get really lucky or someone gets lucky against them with one of my good luck charms, you know how superstitious people are. I don't want them to be like, man, I could have had one of those, and then you didn't even offer it. So I think I saw JM had a turtle, so I gave him a turtle to go with it because I thought his turtle would want a turtle friend, and I think that's like what started a lot of that. And then what's his name? Eddie asked if I had any dogs, so I gave him. If you can see, I got a little dachshund in there, the little Zodog right there. These graphics are certainly lacking, but Paisley versus Steve, I can only imagine two relatively speculative hands just gambling it up. They haven't been playing like super crazy, you know, as in like super tight or super ridiculous. So you're probably just gonna see like standard kind of casino play from them. But yeah, let's just talk one more time about that run that Mom had earlier today. Like that is insane, bro. You don't usually see that, man. That is so wild, so wild. So you know, shout out to them, bro. Shout out to them. But that was don't expect to go through that kind of thing. Don't expect to get that kind of luck very frequently. Kill's got the 9-9. I think I raised here. Yeah, ace 9 or ace 8 suited on the button. Homie 3 bets, and I believe do I just fold or call? No, I call. Honestly, I was like, there's one point where I fold to them to a 3 bet, and I was like, it's not here though, right? Because it's just too good of a price. You know, I mean, I didn't really notice that he only had 500, but even then, dude, I'm getting 35 to call, like 90 in the pot, like almost 3-1, suited ace on the button. Even just raw equity wise, I have the odds to call here, but I believe this. Let's see, once again, like not a ton happens here. Like flop goes like brick, he bets. I think I fold here. I think that's probably a standard fold because I'm just behind so many other big aces in his range. He was very kind to show me his 9-9. So, like that's like another benefit of just like being cool and being chill and being kind to people. It's like sometimes you just get free information like that. Like so you don't have to wonder, you don't have to wait. And I mean, even like right here, we're playing the stream, so I'm gonna see eventually if I want to. Like, but I never really intended on doing this. I kind of just thought, I don't know why I didn't intend on doing this. Like this is a good thing to do, honestly, when you're just kind of chilling and you have like you want to review a stream. Like why not review a stream that I played? There's been a few of these before, and then any stream that I play in the future, I will certainly try to review as well. So, but it wasn't on my mind at the time. Like, oh, I'll go back and see. But they know that I can, so it's almost like, yeah, I'll just show you now because I'm trying to be cool and I am cool. So it's just a show of good faith, and that's the kind of thing that you get with live poker that you just could possibly never even physically get on some online sites. Like I think even on Coin Poker you can show when you muck, maybe, but I think on Ignition you can, but like Club Dub you can't. There's no showing on Club Dub. Okay, now what did Rob get right here? Sorry, what happened here pre-flop? I saw raise. So let's go right here. J is the straddle for 10, and it just goes check around. Okay, so Rob actually limped the ace king. Very sneaky, very sneaky. Eddie's gonna check, 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 check. Then on the turn, JM bets out with the 6-4, reasonable. Rob raises. Okay, so that's what he does, and he fold. Oh, nice play, nice play. Interesting, interesting. Not really repping much of anything. Kind of repping more like a 4-3, a 3-3, a Jack 3 suited type hand. So really not repping a whole ton, but he read JM for weakness and he got it through. Very nice play, my friend. What did I? Oh, A3 off. I thought I folded A3 through for a second. I'm like, what? Ridiculous. Gonna be raise from Max. JM will defend his button, which is definitely a concept, you know, defending your button, like not letting someone just like take position from you. Max bets JM is gonna put in the aggressive play now since he got like aggroed like the last hand, so now he's gonna aggro against this guy. It's almost like a little monkey see, monkey do. It's a great play. It's absolutely a great play, and it can easily get Max to potentially fold the worst hand. But Max does have the open ender to go with it, so it's kind of sucks for JM that they're sharing the same open ender, but he needs to flush up or pair up to actually beat him. So so JM really needs to go bet here to like get what's his name to fold the kind of hand that he has. They both hit on the river. It's gonna probably go bet raise call, bet raise all in call, yada yada yada, chop it up. I'm actually not even gonna watch this. So JM bets, Max raises, and then they all in call. Yeah, exactly. It's like chop. Got the king jack suited here. We're gonna raise it up to 15. A little small given how the table's been playing, but once again, I didn't know that. I kind of came in at this point. Eddie puts in the 3-bet 260. I can't fold against a small 3-bet like that. I actually remember in the moment thinking that like it's such a weird thing to be like wanting to coach a friend of mine in the moment. I'm like, I wish you 3-bet bigger because like you're putting me in an easy situation right now. Like it's an easy call for me right now. I would have preferred you to make it bigger so that it was harder for me. So it's just like it's a snap call. If you made it like 100, then I actually have to think about it. And then Jack also calls. Okay. Now this was a really weird situation, guys. Y'all let me know what you do here. 188 in the pot. We've got just about like what 700 behind or so, as it says in the graphic. I might have a little bit more because I'm not sure if I reloaded and didn't tell them or not. But call it at the most like say 700 left. Eddie bets 200, bro. Eddie bets 200. I'm like genuinely perplexed right here because like I've got the backdoor straight draw, I've got the overcard, and of course I got the flush draw. But dude, I don't even like he's not giving me a good price to see the turn, and the only way that I can see any equity being reasonable here is by just like going all in and seeing both cards. But I don't think he's gonna fold ever. I actually put him on ace queen right here. I figured he had ace queen. I figured he's just not folding, and if I get in right here, it's a pure gamble. Like the king might be good, because of course he could even have king's races, so the king might not be good. It was a really, really, really weird spot, and honestly, I think I don't know how to word it, but I just wasn't down to gamble my whole stack right here. So I actually make probably one of the weirdest, tightest, most conservative folds I've made in a long time. It was a really weird spot. I just didn't like if you bet any normal amount, I obviously call. Even 150 I call, bro. But dude, 200 was such a crazy c-bet size. Betting like 110 to 150% of the pot, I wasn't ready for. I forgot about that hand actually. I was not ready for that. So I just let it go. It felt like a really close spot. You guys let me know. Let me know how awful that is. I felt like it was a pretty gamble spot, like based on the way it just felt like aces, kings, ace queen, heavily. Like even king queen, I'm surprised he had, but how crazy is it that king queen is better against my hand than ace king would be? Because now I don't have that king out. Wait, no, yeah, because that would give me wait, no. I'm sorry, ace queen. If you had ace queen, then the king gives me a better pair. I said ace king for some reason. But yeah. And then shout out to Eddie, bro, for showing me the queen. What a nice guy. I mean, I just give him a couple things. He shows me the queen. I don't have to think about it. So live poker is sick in the element that you are able to get some information that you may not have thought that you were able to get. You know, or that you may get extra information by just being a cool person. I'll put it that way. You know, so far 2 people have shown me their hands after betting to me, and they both had it, and I didn't have to wonder or think about it in the middle of the game. It's like, cool, thank you guys. It's cool having friends. It's cool being friends with people. So what do you got? Raise to 25 from Jack, and then Jay only calls? Now, Jay and Jack have no dynamic, and Jay knows that Jack hasn't seen his craziness so far, so he's potentially doing that, but yeah, it gives me a good price to overcall. In the hijack, it looks like. Gut shot on the flop. I don't think nothing happened here, bro. Nothing big happens here. 50 to call on the c-bet for Jack. I think I fold here. Oh no, because, yeah, I have an easy fold here because Jay now raises. If Jay calls, I think I can call. Close though, bro. Flush draw. We only got 3 outs. It's another one of those spots, bro. It's actually a very similar spot in the previous hand with the King Jack of clubs, in that we have a draw and we're getting just barely not the right price, I feel. And being on stream too, you don't want to play like too tight, you don't play too conservative, you want to like give action. But at that point, I just wasn't feeling like I was getting the right odds, honestly. And so raise on the flop and then jam on the turn. Wow. Wow, wow. Strong play from Jay. That's tough for Jack because if he doesn't have what do you call it? If he doesn't have top pair or better, or if he doesn't have top pair beat, he's probably losing the ace, and he probably doesn't have better than like ace queen is what I'm saying. He probably is like in that top pair range. Very clunky way to word that. Right there, I tell the dealer that I'm adding back on. Like I think I might have once again added on before that because I don't usually let my stack get that low, but once again because of the table dynamics, or it's because of the stream, like I didn't want to interrupt him too much, so like it's okay for me to not bother people. No graphics here. I have no idea what I have. Completely forgot. I think it went raise, call, 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 call. Oh, you know what I have here? Oh, wow. This is a weird hand. I have, let's start this hand over again because I didn't think that, or I would have assumed that the graphics would have picked this one up. I have 10-7 offsuit here, I think. 10-7 offsuit, I believe. And it was like straddle. Oh, sorry. Yeah, did I straddle? I think I straddled. JM raised to 30. Everyone called. I'm getting like 5-1. I overcall with the 10-7 off, I believe it is. And this is an interesting hand. This is a weird hand. It's probably my biggest hand that I play all night, actually. I check because now I could have donked here, kind of how David did before with his 10-9 in this instance. So like I don't mind a donk, but I check here just to kind of check and flow. I think JM might see bet a little too much with an ace king, ace queen type hand. I can just kind of like get heads up with him and then maybe donk some turns. But let's just kind of see what happens. Then JM also checks, and now Jack bets I think 50 or 40ish. Eddie calls, which is a little concerning for me because it's like, okay, someone could have a deuce, they could have a better 7, excuse me, but I could also see Jack betting like random, like just overcards here, and I could also see Eddie calling with like 5-5 here. So the 7-10 isn't like terrible to call here. I do tank for a minute if you see like, because we are going 2x speed here, and you see I kind of do have like a bit of a decision to myself. Like it's like not a snap call, and I kind of like hem and haw a little bit, blinking a lot. It's also nice to see like I've never seen myself play poker before, so it's nice for me to stop and pardon me for wanting to observe myself maybe a little bit extra, but just to see like how I look in these instances, just to make sure I'm not giving anything off, but I do look kind of like with what my hand strength is, just kind of like uncertain, and am calling because I kind of just like have to in a way. So and then we get a very interesting turn card, which is the 10 of hearts. And then I check to Jack, who then proceeds to jam. And then Jack makes a big mistake. So right now, my thought is ace deuce, maybe king deuce suited, like one of those hands. Maybe an overpair that just called pre-flop to JM's open, like jack jack. Maybe he overcalled queen, or maybe he called queen queen instead of 3-betting. So like just a hand that beats my 2 pair right now. And I'll show you guys. And this is why. So like shout out to Jack, love the homie, but guys, don't do this because it's too. And I told him, bro, this is too generous of an offer for me to even say no to. You'll see what happens. He jams. Eddie tanks for a little bit. Not really sure what he has, but he tanks and folds. And then I tank for a decent bit because this is a pretty big bet at this point. Pot was 150 pre, 150 on the flop. So I guess pot size bet, about 245, 250. But still decent size bet. And I ask him, I'm going to go 1x speed for this so you guys can hear. But I think I ask him, and this is what prompts what happens, but I ask him, do you really have a deuce here? I think that's what I ask him. All right. And he offers me, he says, do you want to pick one? And I say, and he shows a 7. And he shows a 7. So the camera can't see it, but he shows a 7 with this. And I'm like, all right, bro, I got to call. I think he oh, no. He shows a 10. Sorry, he shows a 10. He shows a 10. My bad. I knew he showed one of the pairs that I had. So my bad. He shows a 10. And when he shows a 10, I have to call. I just figure it's like gotta be just a 10x. A 10x that got there that's like ahead of my 7, And he asked how many times, like, bro, I'm a run it once kind of guy. So anytime I can run it once and like someone's not gonna get mad, I'm just gonna run it once. I show him the news. He does not kick her up, and that's a decent pot for me. But yeah, it's too generous of an offer. Yeah, I told him I'll give him a couple extra cats for that one because I know how much he likes them. And then Jack needs to reload. And I think he said at some point, I don't know if you guys or if he said it, but I'm gonna go back to the 2x speed. But he basically says at some point that he was hoping that I would pick the king and put him on king deuce. That's what he was looking for in that instance. He probably felt like I was leaning towards call anyway. But if he thought I was leaning towards call, then he would probably put me on 7x though, less than 10x. So I just got unbelievably lucky there, obviously, to pair up my 2 pair with his kicker, because obviously if he hits the king, then I cannot do that. And what do we get right here? Sorry, I wanted to see my hand, and I adjusted the volume. But at medium volume, what do I have? Okay, I keep thinking I have suited cards that I'm folding, but no, they're just the same color. So Jack raised, C-bet the flop. He's got a couple of 7s out there, and I believe he's gonna take it down. Oh no, Steve's still in, and Steve puts in the loose call. They're gonna probably check it down from here because Jack doesn't want to bet against Queen. Oh, he is gonna bet against the Queen. Sticky is Sticky Steve right here. Wow, very. Don't bluff Steve. Don't bluff Steve. Nice hand, Jack. It's always so nice, bro, to win like 20-30% of a stack. The hand after you get stacked. It's so nice, bro. Looks like Max is gonna raise, JM's gonna defend on the out of the straddle. Probably gonna go check bet fold, and Max will win. Oh, check. Letting JM catch up. Now if he goes for the bet, it's not gonna work. Really? Wow, JM's made a couple conservative folds. The turn is an interesting part of a poker hand in that, like, if you've had a preflop and flop dynamic already of, say, bet the or raise preflop, then check the flop or bet the flop, like you've established something. And in that instance, he basically established I raised pre, I didn't hit the flop, and now I'm gonna try and bet the turn. And in those instances, I feel like you really want to test your opponent and force them to put in the bet on the river as well. And like it's almost like the two halves of the hand. Like you're at halftime at that point, and now they've decided, all right, now I'm gonna bluff. And it's like, okay, are you gonna bluff again? Really? Jay opens and Max puts in the 3-bet with the king 9 suited. I mean, we saw Jay conservatively fold earlier with the ace king, so I don't know what they're gonna do at this point. I would assume they would call. It wouldn't be unreasonable for them to even 4-bet get it in. Max has only got about 1K. We're playing, was there a straddle this hand? If there's a straddle this hand, then guaranteed, you know? Let me see. No, it looks, or actually, no straddle. 3 blinds, no straddle. So to 25, call, and then squeezed to 150 or 125? 130, okay, so about 125. So from this point here, I think 4-bet get it in is good. Every time, and by the way, I've done this every time I've done this on the Lucky Lady stream. I've done this twice. It's been my exact instance where I open up, someone 3-bets me, I 4-bet get it in with ace king. I've been up against aces twice. So I understand like when people don't want to do this, but even for the 1K stack, I still think it's a fine play, honestly. I just, because you never know when someone's going to want to step a little bit out of line. You never know, like Max is right now. And you also just, especially the suited variant, bro, it does so well against everything. You block aces and kings and you're flipping against ace queen. Like, just go with it. Just 4-bet get it in. That's my play. It's the perfect balancing hand, you know, so that you're just not always doing this with aces and kings. I think calling just leaves too much up to variance. However, Jay is actually relatively skilled post flop, so you're not gonna, just because he's calling here doesn't mean he needs to hit to win. Wow, and he might extract a little bit more from Max here. I mean, his line is definitely gonna do better than mine in this exact instance because he hit top pair and he's gonna let Max bluff off now. Only bets 80. That's snap call in my mind, but Jay's very aggressive. He might want to try and raise against weaker aces. He's really roping him in right now, representing like a 9-9 jack 10x type hand, maybe weak ace. He's not representing a hand as strong as he has. The way he checked too looked like he's trying to give up. He's putting on a little performance right now. Jay is playing very check again, because he might bet the ace on the river and then you can check call, check jam. Jay checks. Nice, bro. Right? Yes, I think. Or is he still deciding? Okay, no, it's his option. We're at 2x right now. I mean, basically what he did is he tried to go for max value against the times that he checks back ace x. But he's going to bet that on the river a lot too. He's going to bet that a lot on the river too. He's trying to represent a brick, miss this, miss that flush draw, miss king queen, miss queen jack. So I get what Jay's going for there. But I love another check, bro. I love another check. You know, I think he played that hand really, really cool, really, really well, even though I do prefer the 4-bet pre. I just think that you're going to get more out of Max's turn check back range via another river check rather than a lead. But it's completely understandable to not want to give up your chance for, you know, for some good equity right there. Like a good solid chunky value bet. Looks like it's just a limp pot. Nothing too interesting. All right, we've got me folding the 9-5 off. Rob folds. Eddie's in the third blind. He gets nothing, no action with his ace jack. That's funny. Terrible hand to get a walk on, but it is what it is. All right, who's got what going on? Max is going to raise 20. Steve's going to call. I'm going to fold. Rob calls. Eddie calls. Jay calls. Everyone's got a little something speculative here. Mine was just a little too weak to come in. Steve with a set of 4s. Okay. And then Rob's got the overpair right here. So Steve's going to lead out. Love that. Expect this flop to check through a lot of the time. Rob's going to call. 70 and a call. Very standard. Max is going to let it go as well. And they're going to go heads up to the turn from like 7 ways on the flop to a jack. It might go bet fold at this point. Oh yeah, especially off the jam. Rob actually tanks here off of this. He really didn't want to fold this, if I remember correctly. I'm gonna skip through it because if I remember correctly, this takes a while for his decision. Yeah, he did not want to let this go. Come a long time to fold his 8s. Nice hand, Steve. Super Eddie. I fold some garbage. Rob limps in with a 3-3. Big Eddie's got the KK. Coming up with what, 35, 40? Looks like 35, 40. Okay. Folds around the Rob. Gonna call with the set mining opportunity. Pretty reasonable. call. I probably would have gone min raise though in his instance, or 3x with my hand, so I probably would have had to call a little bit bigger with 3-bet, but I think the exact same instance would have happened. And then Rob calls on the flop, so he's really trying to. So Rob's doing what I would have recommended they do on the turn that previous hand with JM when he flopped when he turned the bottom pair against Max. Like just call once to keep him honest, make him bluff the river. On this flop though, it's really tough to call because then they get 2 more streets, so you have to check twice to them basically, and now you have to call them twice potentially. So it's just a lot looser of a spot, and I just like it a lot less. I think Eddie's gonna bet Rob's gonna fold would be my guesstimate. I don't remember the hand exactly because I'm not even in the room, but yeah, it makes sense. I think I'd go take a little restroom break at this point. First time because I'd been playing earlier in the night too. While this stream was going on, my name was on the wait list for the stream. I just didn't have a chance to get in, so that's kind of like why this was going for so long, and I come in when I do. But I'd been playing all night anyway, so I just hadn't used the restroom at that point, so I had to take a quick little bathroom break. That's why I had the salad with me, because I had ordered it at the table beforehand and I just didn't finish it. So it looks like raise from Eddie. Killa is going to come in with the 15 call, pretty standard. It's going to go maybe a little check bet fold, check. Eddie takes it down, very standard. You know what's wild, bro, is like, because Jay's been here this whole time, but like the first portion Jay versus second portion Jay, like he must have his engine got turned off at some point, because he is not the same. Not saying that he played any like bad or different or anything, but like he was so aggressive for this first part of the stream that we were watching. Once again, I feel like we genuinely learned a lot by just watching him, because he played so well, and he just attacked checks so good, bro. He attacked weakness so well. He was playing the players, not the what do you call it? You see Eddie gives him one of his cards. I got one of Eddie's cards. He's just like for his phone number if you want to get on the games and such. And yeah, it was definitely the tale of two halves for Jay, but he was a really fun player to watch this stream. Probably the most fun player to watch this stream, honestly. Like between him and Mom getting super, like Mom's variance and Jay's luck, not luck, aggression. Mom's luck and Jay's aggression was super interesting to watch. Shout out to Jack coming in, second Jack of the day. There's actually like 3 or 4 Jacks that play at this casino. Jack is like the Phil of this casino, like the common poker player name. But Jack's another cool dude, someone who I played with many times. Oh yeah, it's this funny thing. Chung comes in and he brings a few of the little trinkets that I think that was Grace's. Grace's Steve's husband, or Steve is Grace's husband. Sorry, Grace. Steve is Grace's husband, and I gave those to Grace earlier in the day, and I think she left them at the table because Chung brings them back in. It's funny. And so also you don't have to post the blinds when you come back in this game. So what I do is I actually get up from the table and I wait until the button goes around to Rob, so that I don't make the people who are just the big blind and straddle post the big blind and straddle again. I just don't like to do that. It's like I could. It's like within my reason, because it's just like how the stream game works. Just to keep the stream flowing, keep all the players in. They don't make you post blinds. You just kind of like redo the hand. Like you literally, like, it's a very uncommon thing, very unorthodox. But you don't post, and you don't and if someone posts a blind twice, someone posts a blind twice or 3 times or whatever, it just is what it is. But for me, I don't want to make people do that, so I don't mind sitting on a couple hands just to kind of like let the action stay in flow. All right, no action to really follow because everyone is just playing a small hand slash. Oh wow, boat first flush, crazy. And we don't have graphics. Max is back, Paisley's back, I'm back, everyone's back. Paisley's gonna top off 200. Jack is a pretty aggressive player from what I've seen overall. Not as aggressive as Jay, but he's definitely has his foot on the pedal. He's gonna raise with aces first hand in. Wow, I was curious what he had when he came in first hand. Good for him. First hand aces coming in. That always feels good, bro. Picking up ace early on makes you feel like you're in for a nice winning session. He bets. Rob raises. He's gonna call. He's got the ace of diamonds. If he's behind to 2 pair, he could hit a set or bigger 2 pair. If he's behind to a set, he could hit a set. If he's behind to a straight, he could hit running boat cards. Goes check and then all in. Wow. I don't remember this hand. I don't know if Jack calls, dude. I don't know if Jack calls. This is a crazy bet. That's a crazy bet. Jack should call here. His hand's pretty strong. And I think he's the kind of player who would call, but that sucks for him, bro, because it's just so much pressure. Get check raised on that flop and jammed on that turn. Ugh. It feels like 2 pair plus, right? It feels like 2 pair plus. And honestly, at this point, I don't even know if Rob thinks he has the worst hand. He might even just be doing this for value. Very tough spot for Jack. I did not know he had such a tough situation so early on. Really being put to the test, huh? Jack had just come from playing a tournament tonight. Really? Does he fold? Yeah, because I just don't remember this getting shown down. Wow, Jack lets it go. I mean, I don't blame him, bro. That's a really, really, really strong line. That seriously feels like whenever you call, they have a straight or 2 pair, and whenever you fold, they have the king 8. And even then, you don't even got that's probably like one of the worst hands he's gonna do that with. And even then, he's got the open ender, the 8, and the king is outs against you. So he's got basically 15 outs against you. So even when you call, you still lose that 70% of the time. What a shit spot for Jack. All right, big hand here. Let me just replay a little bit. Paisley raised 15, Max 3 bets to 60, and then JM now has a decision. JM fold? JM has made some very, very, very conservative folds, dude. I think cold calling there with the 10-10 is like actually fine. Luckily for him, Jack comes back over the top, 4 bets with the QQ raw, and just kind of gets it, takes it down. Nice hand. Takes it down, nice hand. That's always nice for Paisley when you open and you get 3 bet, and then the person who 3 bets you when you weren't going to continue or you didn't want to continue gets cold 4 bet, and then they have to fold, and it's like, that's what you get, bro. It always feels good. Now, Paisley with the queen. I fold some garbage, it looks like. JM is going to raise to 20. Okay. Probably get a 3 bet from Paisley if I had to guess. Okay, well, he goes to 90. Good number. Chill Jack call, but he probably won't call the second time. I'm going to guess at both Eddie and... Oh, Eddie does call? Okay, I was going to guess Eddie and Jack were both going to fold. But Eddie calls, and Jack got to fold, right? No, Jack puts in the money. Jack is a little sticky. He's only got the 400 now. 500, I guess he reloaded? Or was that pre... Okay, no, that's after he called. He had 400. That's a pretty standard / good C-bet from Paisley. Even multi-way, I really don't mind that C-bet. It's actually like... It's a little big, but it kind of prevents you from having people... It prevents you from having people just kind of like raise you randomly, I would say. And Eddie flopped the set, check raise, took it down. It's very reasonable to check raise on an ace-high board like that. You know, if it was like jack high, 10 high, this, that, I could see check calling. But check raising is very, very standard there. And it's kind of like sucks for Eddie that when he finally gets a hand, he can't get any action, you know. Fold a suited jack, folds around to jack 1, who makes it 15. Eddie calls with the 32 offsuit, very speculative. And I think Max is going to probably overcall for sure. Surprised he didn't 3-bet a little bit, honestly. He's a relatively aggressive player, but yeah, it makes sense. Jack bets and takes it down with the mystery hand. All right, got a 4-3 off in the third blind here. I do not believe I give any action here. It's a little loose for me. Jack raises, but Paisley calls out of the small with the jack 10. I go check on the flop. Probably check bet fold in the turn. Now that you can represent something, pretty standard stuff. Shout out again to Andrew, keeping the room clean, taking care of business. Chill Jack has the king, raising it up, forcing me out with my queen deuce suited. That's like one of those hands where if it's like small raise, limp around, multi-way kind of situation, you can of course play it, but not for the bigger raise. JM has got the best hand so far, it looks like. King Jack suited. Paisley's gonna call Chill Jack 6-5 from the hijack, very loose from Jack. I'm gonna call Chill Jack CJ so that I don't have to keep saying Jack and Jack, and it's easier for me. So CJ C bets with the 20 on the gutter. I was in this hand? What was I doing in this hand? Was this limped around pre? Did I call it pre? Why'd I call? I don't know. Maybe I was just feeling like it was a small raise. Everyone was in. And I didn't play hands for a while. And 6-3 off was like the very bottom of that range. But that's a pretty speculative hand for me. That's a pretty speculative hand for me. I'm surprised I called there. Low-key. Looking back. And then... Wait, and I don't call on that flop? That's weird. For me to call pre, but to not call on that flop? That's a weird hand for me. I don't like how I played that. I should have either folded pre or called on that flop. I don't like, they're like opposite actions. Wait, ended... Okay, I guess JM only called too. Yeah, JM's been playing pretty passive. He's probably just going to check down and win unless CJ wants to bet. JM wins with the jack. Yeah, it was a weird hand by me. I usually just fold that pre probably. Low-key, I was definitely feeling like I probably haven't played a hand in a while. But I could have called that flop for 20 bucks though. I definitely could have called that flop. I literally, I'm not gonna lie, I might have missed that I flopped the bottom pair. I might have thought that I had like just a different hand and might have just messed that up because on a bottom pair I usually would peel that. Just to try to hit the trips or to hit the 2 pair, the backdoor straight or whatever. Now Sticky Steve with a big pair. A lot of big pairs right now, huh? This table is running very hot in terms of like you can go a long time without anyone having an ace king, ace queen, big pair, this or that. But we've seen kings, queens, aces, a whole bunch of stuff. So Jack raises, CJ raises, Steve 3 bets, and CJ's gonna come back along. Beautiful flop for Steve. I mean, almost too good. That's the second or third set he's hit tonight. I think second. The 4-4 was the first one. I was thinking of JM set of 5s. Bet, take it down. I don't even bet that flop, bro. You got that thing locked up. I am not betting that board. Nope. That's rainbow, this and that. I think of all the times that you can check back. That's a fine spot to check back. Or if you are going to bet, bro, you bet like tiny 20% pot. Make it so that especially in live poker, people really feel like a certain type of way about folding to small bets. Like it hurts like their ego or whatever. So you don't want to give them easy folds. Original Jack picks up the 9-9. I had the 52-0 on the button. So I'm glad I didn't raise here and try to challenge, or else I probably would have gotten 3-bet by the first Jack. Wow. So Jack raises and CJ calls with the 8, and he gets the lucky 8-8 flop. Check on the flop, then check bet call on the turn, then check bet call on the, wow, what a lucky flop, bro. Check jam call. He called. I do remember him calling this hand. Yeah, that's a tough river, bro, and I really don't think that Jack should call that. It's like when the flush comes in, the only thing he's really getting value from here, you know, is like a bluffed 5-6, a bluffed 6-7, a bluffed like random. Just, I don't know, man. No, 5-6 gets there. 5-6 gets there, dude. I didn't even see the deuce 3. 5-6 gets there. Gee. Yeah, you can't call that. Unfortunately, it's just too speculative. Too speculative. I love you, Jack, but you gotta tighten up a little bit in those spots. All right, straddled hand. Paisley in the straddle with the queen jack off. Max is going to open the 3x with king 8 suited, the absolute bottom of an under the gun opening range, but it is solver approved. CJ coming along with the 98 off. Super Eddie's got the mystery hand, and we're gonna go to a flop of ace 8 jack rainbow. Looks like CJ is gonna check his bottom pair. Paisley's going to bet with his middle pair, and Max is gonna make a decision now. Is he gonna raise, trying to represent ace X, or is he just gonna yeah, it's a 180. He raises to 180, trying to represent ace X. Very interesting play from Max with his bottom pair top kicker. He's effectively, oh, and Eddie's in here with the mystery hand, which we don't even know yet, and he's asking for a count on the raw bet raise. And he did he just call, or okay, yeah, I thought he raised for a second. He cold calls. So what are we putting Eddie on right now? We're putting Eddie on bare minimum good ace. Pre-flop action was under the gun, so it was a straddle pot. Max raised 3x, and it was just call. I could see a world in which Eddie has ace king here. I could see a world in which Eddie has ace jack here, or ace 8 pocket 8. The weakest hand I think Eddie has here in his range would be ace queen. Probably, I think ace 10 folds. There's no big draws out there, so it's like he probably doesn't have 10-9 off or 10-9 suited or anything like that. It's probably ace queen minimum is my guess right now. Ace 10 would be a very, very speculative call for Eddie, I would say. Wow, and then Paisley gets there on the wait, so Paisley overcalled? Wow, that's probably a fold, but he is getting good price. Hold on, let's just go back to this flop decision real quick. So Max raises, and once Eddie calls, it's only because Paisley bet like I think 65, 60 or so, 65. It's only 115 for him to call. He's getting just about 5-1. Wow, and then he hits that turn, so he's almost certainly good now. I would have to, unless of course Eddie has ace jack or 8-8. He jams for the 1-6, and they both fold. What? Eddie, what could you possibly have? I guess ace queen, bro. I guess ace queen. And he just makes a disciplined fold in the turn? Still? That's wild, bro. I thought for sure, dude, it's 160 and the pot's like 800. You only got to be good there 25% of the time. That is a very interesting spot. I would not have thought that Eddie would have had a hand that could even fold there. I would not have thought Eddie could have a hand that even folded there. And it's like, you guys are probably saying like, bro, you were there. You should remember this. And it's like, yeah, but it was 2 weeks ago. Plus, like, you don't pay attention to every hand that you're not in. And when you can see the cards, you're much more invested in the outcome. Jack raised to 30. Paisley calls with the jack 8 offsuit. Jack has king queen off. Max overcalls with the ace 10 offsuit out of the straddle. And it looks like Jack smacks his flop with the queen 4-8 two-tone. Gonna see bet on the button when check 2. Paisley has middle pair, but he just folds it. That's a disciplined fold. And Max also lets it go. Nice hand, Jack. Got a suited queen, but we let it go from early position. Suited king from Rob folds around to CJ, who's gonna raise it up to 35. Paisley's gonna call 35 in the BB with an ace 5 suited, the solver hand. Nice flop for CJ. Low backdoor diamonds. I can see Paisley just not wanting to get bullied here and like making a play. You could tell they just kind of like didn't want to fold. They didn't put CJ on much, but it's still very reasonable just to fold your ace 5 there when you miss the board so much. The only acceptable response would be to raise. Like, I think floating there is like kind of weak. It like doesn't really win you the hand, you know? Like, how are you gonna win it by calling? You're gonna hope that the dude chucks the turn and then folds to your bet, I guess. You could just raise the flop for that number though. All right, folds around to Eddie. He's gonna probably muck the 83. Now he's gonna call. He's playing speculative. CJ is gonna fold. Paisley's gonna probably, he's gonna raise it up with the deuce with the 22. Steve's gonna call the ace queen off, and then Super Eddie will overcall with the 83 suited. Very loose call from Eddie there. But once again, he doesn't mind splashing around a little bit. Paisley does not continuation bet with the deuce, and Steve will stab with the ace queen. Very good stab, and it's gonna probably take it down, if I had to guess. He has the backdoor this and that. Once again, Paisley looks like he's very reluctant to want to give his hand up, but he does kind of like think better of the situation in the end. At this point, we are 2/3 through the stream, so we only have about 2 hours left. We've got Jack raises to 35 from the cutoff. I'm in the third blind with a king jack offsuit, a hand too strong to fold for sure. I think we should go multi-way here, and I flop trips and then get no action if I recall correctly. Everyone calls, flop a couple of kings, I check around, and then I think the flop checks around, and then I just bet the turn and everyone folds. I'm pretty sure is the action. 50. That's a good standard bet. Honestly, it's like too small, low key, because of how big the pot is. I kind of forgot how big the pot was. Given everyone checked the flop, I was just trying to like, I assumed no one had anything, so I'm really trying to get like any value. It's kind of like funny that my bet was legit perfect for this exact situation. But in general, like this is a little small. It's a little small. I could probably go like 65 and get a similar result. Like anyone that's going to call 50 is going to probably call 65. So it's one of those accidental good bets, but in theory, it should have been a little bit bigger. So we take down a small one, medium one. That's fine. I mean, when you get like the 150 in pre-flop, it's like, yeah, that's cool. Can't complain. Talking a little basketball now. This is always good when you get some NBA fans on the table. Jack raises to 20. Paisley's going to call with the ace 5 off. Jack with the king 10 off. Folds around. They're going to go heads up. King, queen, jack, flop. Perfect for Jack. Goes bet call. Paisley's going to float with the overcard and gut shot. Paisley is definitely a little loosey-goosey, and they don't try to bet on the river there, huh? They try to go showdown value ace high. Little loosey-goosey. Looks like dealer change, double board bomb pot action. I get the double board bomb pot button. We actually have a separate button, as you can see, it's right in front of me right now, different from the normal button, and it rotates after every double board bomb pot hand in the stream room, and that is what keeps it kind of fair, so that every time we do the double board, it's not just like random, and someone like gets maybe the button like a few times in a row or this or that. So that's why you see the random kind of red chip in front of me. But yeah, this was a great table, great stream game, good vibes, good action. I had fun. Even if I lost, I probably would have had fun. I can tell you that from experience. I've had plenty of days where I come into the gold room, lose a lot of money, and still have a good time. Double board PLO bomb pot time. You want to have that queen queen and then king king action. Looks like CJ's got a little 2-pair on the bottom board, and nothing much going on the top board. Max has like a little bit from both. Oh, but Max bet. Oh no, sorry. Max had the same 2-pair, and actually CJ folded his little 2-pair. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, and he had the 8 on the other board too. I'm surprised he folded that. I mean, it's only a $4 bet, and he had 2-pair plus 1-pair on the other board. He might have just been distracted by the beer, dude. He might have been distracted by the beer. Speaking of which, I gotta take my break too, but I'm gonna take my break live. Shout out to Jenny, the sandwich girl. I hope no one thinks me calling her girl is disrespectful. That's what we call her, sandwich girl. She's like she's the greatest, bro. She's so good. She's the only one in the whole casino that does this. Excuse me. After 11:30, they stopped doing the normal food, and she is the sandwich person. I think that she might have like a little bit of assistance back there, but she will go to the entire casino, take sandwich orders. She'll make like 30 to 40, and I'm talking like 8-inch subs, like 10-inch subs. Like these are good sized sandwiches. You can get anything. You get like a sub grinder banh mi style, you know, and it's just bomb, dude, bomb. So shout out to Jenny. Once again, this whole staff at the Lucky Lady is absolutely incredible, dude. All the dealers, all the floor, all the runners, Hannah the hostess, everyone's great. It's an absolute pleasure to go to this place. I'm actually probably gonna be going later tonight. It's Saturday, and I haven't been in about 2 weeks, Loki. I have not been since this day, actually. I don't think I've been since this day. So I have to go back, and I just haven't played any live recently. I've been playing just so much online, and honestly, because I've been kind of running like shit online, that I've wanted to like beat that run bad and just like kind of get through it all. What do? I raise to 20, and then Rob 3-bets me decent size, and I actually let this one go with the offsuit ace 9. King Jack is a solid hand for him to have right there. I can respect it. I was actually a little curious what he had in this spot. So King Jack offsuit, very fair. Yeah, ace 9 off is like a fine. Like I could have 4-bet it, maybe, but yeah, that's like the only real good option. I think calling is just like a little. Maybe I could have called him on the button. He made it pretty big though. He made it 85, and I made it 20. So it's like if he made it like a bad number, like sometimes regs just make it bad. Like they make it like 3x or 3.25x out of position. It's like you can call those way more. If he made it 3x or 3.5x, I probably would have called. But for a little over 4x, 4.25x, you can have it. It's all good. I can have better hands in that situation, even though it is my button range and it's going to generally be pretty weak. Sorry, I didn't really follow this hand with Jack and Paisley, but it looks like it was just like a bit of a raise call bet fold on the flop. I'm going to click through a little bit just to get the video going. Raise 20 from Steve. Eddie is going to call with the ace 10 suited, very standard. Let's see how this flop goes. Probably going to be check bet call. Oh, he just. Oh, okay, yeah. I thought he let out, but it went so fast. Check. Oh, lead fold. Yep, standard. But yeah, we're gonna try and just like cut through some of this in between time just to get through the video. Straddle, limp 2, call. Bro, the break takes so much. You guys don't want to do this. What are y'all doing? Oh my god, he bets and then Max has the 2-pair. That's crazy. He's gonna raise him. Wow. I can see Paisley not wanting to fold here because he's reluctantly folded twice already. He's kind of like probably sick of being pushed around. Oh geez, I remember this hand. You still don't want to bet here, bro, with the trips bottom or trips no kicker, because queen 4, queen deuce, 4-4 deuce, which are all in a big blind checking range. Oh boy. Yeah, I remember this hand. And now he's got the boat and he's gonna get stacked too by queen 4. That's rough, dude. That is so rough. Is what it is, bro. That is poker. poker. I believe Paisley leaves after that. That was it for him. I mean, that's a lot of run bad. It's a lot of run bad. Okay, so here we get a suited ace deuce. I raise. This is an interesting hand because I accidentally overbet the turn, I believe, and I didn't realize exactly how big my bet was at the time. But so let's watch this. Steve calls. This dude was pretending like he had a big hand here. Steve calls, so I think he checks. I bet like standard, like maybe 30-ish, 35. Okay, cool. Steve calls again. Very sticky Steve. And then what does he hit on the turn? He hits a 9. Okay. Because he was like really, you can see like, so there's 120 in the pot. I think I bet 150, and it takes him a while to fold here. It's a little over bet. It's like 100 and B 125. It's honestly a very standard bet for me in this instance. I need to use my hands like flush draws to balance for my value, but that's just like the size that I usually choose in that spot. So even though I didn't realize that I did it at the time, I still probably would have gone a very similar size had I known that the pot was 120. For some reason, I thought the pot was more like 200. I don't know. My brain just doesn't work all the time, especially when you're playing with people and you're kind of like, you got the stream energy going. But that was like, if from what I can remember, like one of the last like interesting-ish hands that I played. Like I don't, like once again, I didn't really get involved too much in the day. Jack raises to 20. CJ's gonna call. I can only assume that I overcall here with a suited king. I can't imagine I would fold that. Steve has the ace queen again. He could have definitely 3-bet here. I think he just goes check, bet. Steve calls. I fold. Jack calls too? Oh, Jesus. With the straight. I didn't even see that CJ flopped that hard. I let it go because I have only backdoor clubs to work with. And then what is Jack bet? Wow. Damn, bro. He bets huge. Sticky Steve is in a really tough situation here. He doesn't put money in the pot. No. You can't, dude. You can't. It's a tough spot. And then it's been Jack versus CJ all night, and he just called. Yeah, dude. He was a little tilted at this point, I think. Can't call it off there. Not tilted, but just like he's had the whole night kind of going bad for him. He sat down like, I thought Jack was there for like a long time before I got there, but he just sat down maybe like a few orbits before I did. So yeah, that was a very it's just been an unfortunate run. Like literally, dude, from mom to Jack, opposite runs of luck. Opposite runs of luck. Oh, Liddell, that dude was super cool. I liked him a lot. He was very, very cool. I was like, who takes what's his name, Paisley C? Yeah, shout out to Liddell. He was a very, very nice guy. He was a playing the tournament earlier, I believe. Another tournament player. Seemed like a very solid dude and player. Seemed like a solid all around. What do we got? Call here. Call. I make a tight fold with the 43 suited. You could say check. And of course, once again, guys, shout out to the Lucky Lady stream. If you guys want to ever watch this thing, the full thing, like not chopped, not cut up. You want to see all of our conversations and everything that like not sped up and not like lowered volume. Please give the Lucky Lady some support. Go and like and subscribe to their channel as well. I'm not just trying to use them for my own personal benefit. I love this casino and I want to see them grow and be as big as possible. So go please support their YouTube channel. They're incredibly generous to let us do this kind of thing. So huge shout out to the Lucky Lady, the Hustler Casino, and the entire Larry Flint Corporation. I'm a huge fan of everything that they all do, honestly, from the Hustler Casino to their live stream to this casino to this live stream to just like all the people behind the scenes. Like it's clearly a very good group of people to be around and to be involved with. So I am very honored that I get to be part of this whole thing. Like not only commentating it behind the scenes, doing it how I do it, because I'm of course not like associated with them at all. I'm just a patron, but getting to play in the games, getting to commentate the games on my YouTube channel, very, very appreciative of all that they let us do and all that they offer for us, I should say. Showing Eddie that I still have his card on me. He gave me that like 5 months ago, and I still have it just in the front of my bag. Nice. Liddell with the live 40. And he picks up the ace queen. Let's go, bro. That's sick. And then JM's got the oh, I remember this hand. Spoiler alert, they all get all in pre-flop. It was just a funny hand, bro. Just a funny hand. And he just snap jams. I love it. And then Colin, I remember JM has a little bit of a decision here. And it's like, can't you imagine? It's a straddle, raise, call, jam. And what's his name? JM just doesn't want to let it go. And I don't blame him, bro. I don't blame him. And so everyone's it's basically like a $500 to $600 flip, and they all have ace queen. I should say I said aces. They all have ace X. Oh, and they don't even know it at this point. And then they see it, and then they see ace queen. It's super funny. How gross would that have been if the flop was a 7 of spades? How gross if JM scooped right there. That would have been so crazy, dude. But always fun to see random things like that happen. All right, Max is going to raise to 30 with ace king from the +2 position. I'm going to call with the ace jack offsuit. Jack is going to overcall with the 43 suited, and CJ is going to overcall with the 86 offsuit. We've got a queen 9-6 two-tone flop. Looks like it just checks around. CJ now puts out a bet on the turn with an open ender, and I believe, oh, Max is going to float him there. Okay. I let my ace jack go. Doesn't feel like it's going to be anywhere near good at this point. 3 river. He bets out 100. Wow. CJ with the hundo bet. He doesn't even know that he's bluffing here. He didn't even know that he's bluffing here. And Max is really considering the call down, it looks like, huh? That's wild. Really considering the call down. I'm not sure why. It's almost like, so CJ is bluffing here in a way, in a sense. Max senses that because he's clearly not betting for value. He doesn't want to get called. But he didn't know that he was betting a better hand as a bluff. So he picked up on the energy that CJ was giving out, the way he threw out the $100 chip too, you know, just kind of like, here it is. All right, do I raise? I probably raise here, right? If I have an ace 10 off, probably 30-ish. Steve call, maybe 40. I overcall? That's weird. That's weird. I don't like that. That's bad. That's bad. I should have raised here. Maybe there was something I was picking up behind, or maybe some aggression or this or that might happen. I don't know. And what does Liddell raise to? 65? And I limp fold with an ace 10 offsuit. Steve calls with the ace 9 offsuit. I fold the ace 10 offsuit. This hand should have gone raise, 3-bet, fold. That's the more likely thing. You don't see Steve open limp a lot in early position. So once again, that was one of those situations where you can either overrepresent your hand or underrepresent your hand. I guess I just chose to underrepresent my hand right there. I don't love it though. Like looking back in hindsight, I think it's better to probably just raise like 35, 40, like a small raise. You know what it really was too? Is I was thinking like, I don't want to raise like 50, 60 bucks right now. So I'm just going to call, but I didn't really even think about small raise. Small raise would have been better. Like even just raise to like 25 or nah, 25 is a little too weak. But if I just raise like 30 to 35, I think that's better than calling overall. So not thrilled with that play. Not thrilled with that play. But that's another good part about doing something like this for me as well, is I'm not someone who typically reviews my own gameplay footage. You know, like I record a lot of stuff, but I only go back and use it when I am making a video or this or that. So I don't make a ton of review my own gameplay. So I really should. But this is nice to see that because yeah, I definitely would like to see myself raise there with the ace 10 off. I was lucky, honestly, to just like not get blown off of a better hand right there. Like Liddell easily could have had like a worse ace, like a suited ace or something. So yeah, that was probably just like a bad play. Probably just a bad play, but that's all good. Right now, we're just explaining to Liddell that it's not, I don't think they've played on the stream since we've got the RFID because they were auto showing their hands like when they won. And that was what we used to do when we didn't have the RFID. So now we got raise from Rob, call from CJ, Liddell 3-bets with the QQ, and it's probably just going to go, Rob called actually. It's a very speculative call, very loose call. I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it. Especially if they didn't try to bluff him at all. Later in the hand, they just kind of tried to play their hand straight up. It's all good. Rob is they own a moving company. I think that's their name on their hat, Less Stress, I believe. So they're not like a full-time player, but they were a pretty solid player. So I'm just like a little surprised to see that call there. As the night grows older, people can change their habits and ways a little bit. So no graphics yet. All right. Everyone call, 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 call. Eddie with the queens now. Queens have been so hot and so popular, like holy cow. But JM out flops and goes for the check call. Eddie bets and just gonna check it down. Does Jack bet there? Oh, Jack bets yeah with the boat. I didn't even see he had the deuce, bro. Didn't even see he had the deuce. Eddie calls him with the queen queen. Didn't even see Jack in there with the little 32. Jack is gonna raise it up with the king 10 of diamonds. Oh, sorry. JM raises with queen jack offsuit. Jack calls king 10. Super ready with the queen 9 suited. CJ with the 89 off. We get a flop of king 10 5 rainbow, and it's gonna be a top 2 pair for Jack. Checks to him. He bets 50 into about 250. Pretty small, but on a rainbow board, it's like honestly fine. And then Jack is gonna jam a 4 turn with the diamonds too now. Wow. And then JM to decide with Sticky Steve first to decide with the king jack, and then JM to decide with the open ender. Pretty much a snap fold for me. He's overbetting the pot here by a decent bit. Now Steve is sticky, and Jack does look like he might be tilted. I'd be careful if I was Steve, bro. When you shuffle your chips like that and they go over the betting line, it's like, I know we're playing a stream game, everyone's like being chill in this and that, but it's like, man, that is, you know, you don't want to try to, I mean, Steve is not that kind of guy in the slightest. He would never angle shoot anyone ever based on the vibe that I get from him. But it looks kind of angly in a way, right? You know, where you're like putting it over, taking it back, putting it over, taking it back. So like, that's not him. I'm telling you right now, that's not him. But yeah, that's a genuine, Steve really is sticky, man. That was a very long tank for him. Jack chose the 10. Nice. Nice. Folds around. Nice answer. Back for another double board PLO bomb pot. All right. Getting into the last hour of the stream. And I actually don't even know if I stay till the end of the stream. I do leave at some point. Because once again, I was playing for several hours prior to even getting to the stream. So my night was already like halfway through when I came in, just like the stream was. So I don't even know if I stay for the whole thing. But I can tell you already that you guys have pretty much seen any like interesting hand that I would get into. Like I definitely don't remember anything else happening. So it's not like if you're staying for me, thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. But we're still gonna finish off the action here and just like kind of just finish off the stream. And I also like to see how people are playing, you know. This helps me mentally too when I go back into play games, like just getting like a little information on players. Like I mean it's like just kind of standard strategy, you know. I mean, why wouldn't you? But I'm out here sharing it with everyone, so you guys know that I'm getting this information and you can also get this information. So I'm taking it one step further and not only getting the info, like, you know, going to watch the stream and like quote unquote taking notes or whatever. I haven't taken any notes, but I've, you know, of course made this video. But you people who watch this video don't have to tell me that they watch this video, so they can get that little bit of information extra. So that makes me feel better about coming back here and doing my little scouting report and this and that. Because it's really not for that. It's really because I do like the Lucky Lady a lot, but that is a nice benefit is I get to see how some of these people who I play with a lot are actually playing behind the scenes. And it's just smart to. And it's honestly, there's really no reason to deny yourself this information if you do play at a casino like this relatively. Like the odds that I played tonight are pretty high, and the odds that I see at least 3 of these players is very high. Like between JM, Jack, Eddie, CJ, and Steve, I'm almost guaranteed to see at least 2 to 3 of those players tonight. So is what it is. I forget what this game. Cucaracha, I think they call it. I don't know. So this is. I don't know why people like this. It seems like very rudimentary to me, but I think you just get dealt a hold'em hand. It goes to the flop. No, it's an Omaha hand, or is this or a double board hand? I forget. But they like to do these. It's a random thing where it's like, no. This is it. This is it. So it's a PLO hand where you can either do one of 2 things. You can either bet the pot or fold, and then you run it to the river. So it's kind of like a pseudo bomb pot in a way. It's weird. I don't know. It's just like just a way to gamble, I guess. Just a way to get some money flowing and going. But I am not the. I don't know. It's not my jam. I think what's his name? I think JM here ended up with the queen. Yeah, I remember he had top set during one of these random things, and I think Steve had bottom set. Steve had bottom set. People right now are discussing if they want to do like extra games, this and that, and I just let them know that I personally will be leaving soon. So like if we do any games, maybe like start them now, or either do one of 2 things, like start them this very second so that I'm involved with it, or start it in like 30 minutes when I'm out, because I personally plan on getting up, you know. And it's really just the time, you know, like after I've been gone for like 6 hours or so, like that's kind of like my limit for wanting to leave the dog home alone. Like I just don't, you know, because it takes me 30 minutes to get there. It takes me like 30 minutes to get back. So I really don't want to have her being by herself. She's a good little girl. Eddie's racking up, it looks like. In fact, they're not loaded up here, so I can't really follow that hand. But yeah, it's kind of like tapering off, and I'm leaving soon, so maybe I will leave you guys soon. But no, we'll just maybe we'll go up to like 3x or whatever, or 2.25. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna stay because I want to see how this gentleman plays. I've seen him before. I think his name is Puerto, and I want to just check out like his style. Because kind of like say Mom, for example, I've seen Mom play several times, but I never knew how they played. You know, I've only ever seen them play a couple hands, and they seemed pretty decent and pretty like, you know, solid player. And today we even saw that tenfold. But I've seen Puerto on the stream several times, but I've never seen, like, when I click in randomly sometimes, like, who's playing, how's it going? I don't really stick in a lot. Sorry, Lucky Lady, I love you guys, but low key, without the commentator, it's kind of hard, dude. It's kind of hard. So I feel like that's why doing something like this is always very beneficial to people, you know, because it's just easier to follow along when you have someone kind of describing the game as it goes. So limped pot so far, straddle. I'm in the straddle with ace 7 suited, and I do not elect to call an additional 45. Steve raised to 55 from the straddle. He's in the third blind. Okay, yeah, he's in the third blind. I'm in the straddle. So I made it. I was in the $10. He was in the 5, and that's a pretty big open size. So it's like I can see calling there, but I can definitely see folding. I can also see 3-betting, I suppose, if you want to get a little aggro against Steve, sticky Steve. But it's like, why get aggro against the sticky guy with ace 7 suited when I could wait until I have like ace jack, you know, or ace queen suited, or like pocket 9s, pocket 10s, like when I think he'll call with like weaker pairs, weaker aces, things like that. Then again, I did limp back the ace 10 suited off of him earlier today. That was a weird hand. I don't know. I didn't remember that one. Yeah, there might have been something in the moment that like made me think that he was like trying to pull something, you know, because once again, Steve really is not the early position limper type from at least what I've seen. He's usually more of just like a raise fold type player. So I might have thought he was going for like the cheeky limper raise or something like that. I raised 25. I muck. Luckily, nice, because Jack had me destroyed. Suited, I probably would have called, especially just to give him action since he He kind of gave me action in that hand earlier tonight. I don't even remember doing this good. I made like 3, 4, $500. It said my stack. Oh well, you know I did reload once. But they said my stack was at like 1,300. Not bad. I don't remember that. Do not remember that. No graphics. No idea what they got. They're running it, and I don't remember who has what. Running it 2x. All right, let's get some graphics going. Looks like JM is out for the night. Puerto raises to $10. Interesting, a min raise, huh? Min raise call with the not computer hand, sorry, the solver hand. CJ outflops him with the kicker. Is gonna see bet. Wow, Puerto sticky, huh? Calls with the gutter. CJ checks back, and then you can just go check. So I was curious if Puerto would go for a little river stab off the turn check. Sometimes when the person who's had like the pre-flop raise, the C bet, the betting lead, the dynamic, and they check back the turn, that just like triggers something in people to then lead the river, as in like they got nothing, I gotta bet, kind of feeling a reaction. Like they don't really consider pot control very much, but Puerto was playing his ace-5 for pure showdown value. Good to know. What do? I raised to 15 with the queen jack suited. Puerto calls with an 86. I C bet $25 with my flopped second nut flush and take it down. So not very speculative there. Easily could have floated one with the bottom pair, but without the club, it makes perfect sense. Completely forgot about that hand. But once again, I said no more significant hands, and raising pre-flop and then winning on a C-bet, even if you flop a flush, is not a significant hand. It's just a hand that you happen to flop a big hand, but get no action. CJ is going to raise it up 55. Jack is going to call, probably, yep, with the Jack 9 suited. Wow, turns 2 pair. They check it down, and just to be nice, Jack checks it down for CJ. Very kind. Possible royal on board, but I don't think that's effective enough of a reason to check back unless you're literally in just like that live. I'm just trying to be cool, trying to be chill with y'all dynamic. All right, straddle to 10. Puerto completes in the SB after it folds around to him. Liddell gonna raise it up to 75. See, exactly what I was saying before, man. Exactly what I was saying before. I could have easily made a bad limp fold with the ace 10 because I knew Liddell could do this with a suited ace. He seemed like that kind of player, capable, you know. Jenny coming around with donuts and coffee, bro. She's the sweetest. I forgot she does that too. I go out to get a coffee from her. I go out to get a coffee myself. It was definitely coffee hour. Yeah, I definitely leave pretty shortly after this because I remember like taking like 2 sips of my coffee, putting it behind me, and then leaving it there. And I was so disappointed when I got to the car because I'm like, I'm not going back for it. I'm not going back for it. We got a couple sips out of it. Sometimes too with a coffee, that's all you really need. Speaking of which, all right, raise to 30 with the suited ace on the button from Puerto. He's going to get checked to, probably bet the flop because why wouldn't you? Bet 50, solid. Steve's gonna stick around, bottom pair gutter. And he's gonna continuation for 55. It looks like. Well, it's a pretty small continuation, but I can see it. I can understand the reason and the logic. He's very exposed all around. Gonna check it down probably. Puerto gonna win a medium-sized pot. Always nice. I have a king 10 offsuit. I'll raise to 15 from under the gun. Little shorter handed. I think we're only like 8-handed at the moment. Pretty standard open for me. Pretty bad flop though. 8 high, 2 tone. So I just check it over. On the turn, I could have maybe put out like a slight overbet. Problem is, Rob has a type of hand that could easily call me. But the funny thing is, like, if you look at my hand right now in the percentages, it's actually really hilarious. I have 2% equity because if Jack also gets there, then we would chop. You know, it's like we're chopping a lot of time. That's what happens. But if I say bet 100 here and Rob jams, they would both probably fold, and then I'd be forced to then call off with my king high against the person who has $46 more, just trying to draw to a 10 or a king. And unknowingly, I would probably get it in with like 60% equity, which would be really funny right here. But that is not what happened. Jack then bets his king 10. I fold, and Rob jams, and I believe Jack lets it go. Oh, damn, he was read wrong. The scanner read it wrong. He had queen of diamonds. That's weird. That's very weird. The scanner reads it wrong. So I go out to grab a rack. I give CJ the fist bump, and then I believe I tell them I am out. That is GG's for me. Once again, I had to get back to the dog, but you guys will see me back on here soon, maybe even tonight. You never know. You never know. All right, so let's just like we'll follow to the rest of this. There's only 40 minutes left, and we're going at 2.25x speed, and we're cutting between hands. I would just like to get a little bit more info on Puerto, honestly. Like, we've already watched this far, so might as well kind of go. The dealer said that he had a satellite to the main event, so I gave him one of my good luck charms, so hopefully that brought him some good luck. I'll have to ask him how that went. I mean, I know he didn't win because I was watching some coverage in this and that, but yeah. All right, Puerto straddles. CJ gonna limp first position. Maximilian is going to raise it up to 45, and Sticky Steve will only call. Interesting, only calling out of the SB. That's fine though. You get to keep your opponent's ranges wide, and you get to underrepresent your hand. Puerto's gonna to overcall with the jack, and he actually flops best with the middle pair. So turn king, though, puts Steve in the lead. Max now only has the gut shot, but he's going to chop that with Steve, so Max down to 4% equity. Puerto is the only one who could potentially... Oh, and Max bets with the 4% equity. He bets 120. Trying to bluff at it. Oh, and they get there. They chop on the 10x river. Steve open jams into Max. Steve open jams into Max effectively, because he did say Ellen. Okay, cool. That's actually a really cool play. He's got the ace heart blocker, and if Max does have the ace like he does, he can try to potentially bluff him off the chop. Really, and he gets him to bluff off the chop, and he bluffs him off the chop. Really sick hand from Steve right there, bro. I love that. I walk around the table, give my fist bumps to everybody, and I am out. I think I almost forget my salad, but I'm donezo's. I probably forget my phone. I probably have to come back in if I have to. If I have to remember, I probably have to come back in because that's just how these games go. But wow, I didn't even know what was going on right there in that moment as I'm walking out. Max here has to now wonder. I don't think Steve showed. Max has to wonder. That's crazy, bro. Good bet with the nut blocker, dude. That was sick. That was really, really cool on Steve's end. I really like that. Steve calls, jam call. Sounds like Steve's got the best of it because Rob asked if he had a pair, but an ace is a very nice card for when that happens. An ace is king. So let's see what we got. Ace king scoops. What do you have? King 10? King 8, it looks like? Something like that. Chop. Right. Raise to... Wait, what? Open raise to 60. Yeah, I guess off the straddle. Yeah, a couple limps. Open raise to 60 from Jack. CJ, sorry. Goes heads up with Puerto, who almost outflopped him, but no, the kicker is going to play here. The Jack is going to play. Puerto is behind by the kicker. CJ C-bets 115 on a King 10-6 two-tone flop. Puerto coming over the top with a click back, dude, to 230. How weird is this? And Jack is gonna call. CJ calls. Puerto checks in the dark. And CJ is gonna bet 300 on the turn. What a bizarre hand, bro. What a bizarre hand, dude. Very aggressive from CJ. Very random and clicky from Puerto, who could have easily just called the flop, you know? Just call the flop. If you think he has nothing... Oh my god, he just jams and he calls. He calls. He's in once or twice, and it's all for kicker. It's all for the kicker. Queen, and 8 comes in on the second board! And 8 comes in on the second board. That tilts the hell out of CJ. Wow, what a hand, bro. I believe CJ and Puerto have played before because they both play in the stream a lot, so he must know him more. But that click on the flop is wild, bro. That click on the flop not being KX plus is wild, bro. All right. Holy hell. And Jack did not want to fold to that, bro. CJ said, hell to the nut. I am not folding to this here. So I wonder if I could get away with that. I wonder if he would fold to me if I did that to him. Like, could I do that with a king and have that work against him? Crazy, crazy hand. Okay, so raise pre from Rob with the 10-9 suited. Call from CJ and Jack. Both Rob and Jack have clubs. No clubs on the board. Rob's going to bet 30, probably take it down. Maybe, no, a call from CJ. A little loose, and they're going to check down on the 10x turn. 10x turn. Rob's going to get there. Very, very wild. All right, bomb pot time. We've only got like probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes left of the stream. So this will be our last dealer change, our last bomb pot of this stream. That was, bro, there's been some wild action. I'm glad we finished this stream out, man. After we left, there were some wild hands, dude. Very random click back from Puerto. Very confident call from CJ to not only call, but then bet 300 on the turn when check 2 in the dark. Crazy poker tonight. And then the kind of blocker bluff jam from Steve into Max was so good of a play. Wow. These boards are always funny when it's double board bomb pot and 2 of the boards are very similar, where it's like if you have a set of 9, say, you're like crushing it, or if you have like a king. I saw a king out there. Someone's got a king, bro. Come on, go back to the graphics. Back to the graphics, bro. Steve with the king. Okay, Steve with the king. And then, Puerto with the 9-9 though. With the 9-9. No way. He's getting some money back right now. Puerto with the 99. That's insane. Yes, he does. He just asked, do you have pocket 9s? That's crazy to be up against that, bro. What a cooler. What a cooler. I mean, at least it wasn't for that much, but wow, they could have lost a lot more in that spot. Double boat for Puerto. Double boat. Steve only with the trips, but it's like, it looks good. It feels good. You got trips in a pair. That's crazy, bro. Nice hand, Puerto. Are they doing another, I think this is the cucaracha? Get, bro. Okay. Yeah. They went straight to the flop, isn't that? Puerto goes for it. Steve's gonna look him up. Rob's out. Oh, he says one time. 3 ways. I have no idea what's going on. Slash who has what. Probably a king out there. Gotta be at least a king, right? Wow. King 6? King 6? Crazy, bro, to wind up with that in this hand. Jeez. Oh, the variance of poker, my friends. The variance of poker. All right, we've got call. Puerto min raises. Interesting. With an 87 off. CJ calls. Liddell calls. No one flops a damn thing. Looks like Jack is tapping out. Last hand, he says. Crazy things can happen on the last hand. All right, Jack folds and is out. We got some jacks from Puerto. He's probably going to raise them up. He calls, it says. Call back down to Steve in the BB, who then raises to 20. Puerto going to re-raise, or is he going to just call? I wonder. He does 3-bet. Okay. He goes for the LRR with JJ. That's a very aggressive play. Steve is going to call. Pretty speculative call. He's probably hoping Puerto has ace king, which now beats him. So Steve's going to probably fold to any bet. Goes check though, or check. Oh, Puerto's option. Check. Yep. 4 on the turn. I can't see Steve betting here. I can see Puerto betting at some point, like bet 50, bet 100. But they might just check it down at this point. Ace on the board. It's interesting in that it's like checking down and betting there at some point for Puerto are very similar EVs. I feel like you're just giving up the opportunity, or you're giving him the opportunity to hit like a 2-outer on you, which of course will not happen very often. But when it does, it's gonna put you behind. He's still tilted. CJ's still tilted. That's gonna happen, bro. Now Steve with the JJ 3-betting Liddell getting the fold, and it looks like the game is winding down. They didn't have a list to fill up, so that's why this stream is gonna end when it does. All right, going 2 to 3 ways to the flop. Bet, fold, call. Heads up on the turn. 3, 5, 8, 9. 3 clubs, 1 spade. It looks like CJ's gonna continue betting $100. We have no idea what the cards are, no idea what the graphics are. All good. Who cares? 7 river. Wow. Liddell looks him up, and looks like CJ's going for a value bet side. 135. 135. Liddell, does he look him up or not? He looks very unconfident, like he didn't hit his hand, and like he doesn't want to call. So I could easily see a fold or a raise from Liddell. He does look him up. Wow, what does Jack have? 10-8s with the top pair. Liddell did not have that. He probably had like a 5 with a high spade or something, like some showdown value type hand. Aggressive Jack. Very nice, my friend. Very nice. CJ's a cool guy. I like him. He's always very nice, very cordial, and it's good to see him get some positive variance. I've seen him get super unlucky, low-key, so I can understand like when things like that hand where he chops with Puerto, you know, it's just kind of like sometimes it can just be a little accumulation. Like, man, like maybe like especially maybe it's like, oh, this guy, I can never beat this guy, or I can never. For me, dude, like the gold room in particular, like this where we play right here, like I've just been, I don't say unlucky, but I haven't run great in here. I run okay, but I haven't run great. And there's been a lot of times, like once again, like twice my ace king has run into aces, ace 9 suited ran into ace queen suited, or ace queen offsuit, I think, in a like literally like a quadruple straddle pot. My ace queen ran into ace jack on an ace XX jack turn board on like the very first hand that I got to that session as well. I've had a lot of less than lucky things happen. So sometimes you just feel like a particular room, particular area, particular game, particular player are just like kind of like constantly beating you, like they're like a literal like bad luck charm for you. Max bets 190. Puerto snapmucks. All right, what do we got? CJ with the ace 8 and 4. Wow, a bunch of garbage. So he's gonna raise it up and take it down. All right, Max got a KJO. Oh, straddle. Nice, beautiful straddle hand for Puerto with the ace jack suited. Max only calls. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, that is solver approved, I believe, but I would have expected a player like him to raise. Wait. And he fold to Puerto's oversized raise? Very interesting. Okay. Rob jams $200 and Puerto's going to snap call. There's no way he folds to this. He says, really? You do? He says, yep. Wow. And he gets him on both. Yeah, that really sucks to hit your 8 right there and still lose, bro. Steve is cashing out. Rob cashed out in his own way, and we are down to 4-handed, and we've only got 8 minutes left. So that's pretty obvious where this is going to go. Probably not too much, but hey, let's stick around just in case, because this has been a wild last hour anyway. So I would definitely love to finish it off. If they're playing, we're watching. It was only 6 hours, and we committed to 6 hours. We can usually get a 6-hour stream cut down into about 2 hours for you guys. So hopefully that's where we land in the end of this recording. Max is going to do a cheeky button straddle with for $10. Normally it would be 100, but because it's an actual next in position straddle, he can just go 10 and have the last action. Checks it back, of course, because that is garbage. Puerto going to bet out with his flush draw. Oh, check. Gotta bet now, bro. You got all the draws in the world. No, you could have gotten everyone to fold. Now you bet. Okay, well, that's one way to do it. That is the opposite effect, or the opposite path that I would have chosen. I would have probably gone bet flop and or certainly turn. But bricking everything and then trying to get 3 people to fold when you're assuming everyone has nothing is also a way to do it. Yeah, certainly no reason to not straddle the button right now, you know, or just to straddle right now, I should say. We've got a $40 raise from Liddell with the ace 4 out of the BB. Puerto is going to call with the 86 off from the straddle position. 8 high flop, and he checks back. That's very tricky trappy, I would say. Like I would certainly bet that flop. But it just goes check, 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 and now Puerto's gonna get a little value on the river. Go for it, Liddell. May look him up with the ace high. Yeah, I like Liddell, where I pretty much always look up right there, and I'm never right, bro. I'm never right. So I should probably stop. I should probably stop. You know why? Because some people are willing to just like check back and lose there with like king high, queen high, whatever it like. I forgot the exact board composition, but like they're just willing to check back and lose with a random hand. So it's like when they bet, their range is like actually way stronger. And even though the last hand he just bluffed, I'm still saying this. All right, so some button straddle action. Looks like max raised to 50 with the queen queen. Gonna check around here on the ace high board just for safety, I suppose. But so that really just goes to show how many people are not doing the ideal thing. And even I think multi-way, I think you still can't c-bet a lot of these boards here. But maybe once it gets to multi-way, you are supposed to theoretically check the under pairs on the ace high boards. I'm just used to looking at things from a heads up perspective. But these guys' ranges can be so wide that I still feel like the multi-way is going to get canceled out by that extremely wide ranges, especially of, know your opponent. But some of these people are definitely looser than others. All right. And it looks like this is it. Jack is getting a rack. Liddell's going to grab a rack. We are down to our last few minutes. We did not get any more action, and that seems to be it. But yeah, this was awesome, bro. Shout out to all the players. Shout out to everyone that played to the very end here. Puerto, CJ, Liddell, Max. Shout out once again to the staff, Andrew in the foreground, and all the dealers, everyone who is involved with this whole thing. That is it. Yeah, this is a DGAF production that we got to watch. So thank you to DGAF for letting us commentate over this kind of stuff. Like YouTube doesn't like automatically flag it, so I assume that it's cool with everyone over at that side of things. So thank you all, love you all, and we will see you on the next one. Bye bye.